Hello, Richard Lewis here. It's the Richard Lewis Show, coming at you live for a change because Sam's actually decided to stop going to freelance gigs and leaving me all alone, and just fucking me over and stuff. Still wants half the money, of course. I don't get half. It's hell of a relationship we've got, isn't it? It's like being literally cuckolded. How long before you bring a child home for me to raise Sam?
I've got food to eat, mate. Right, I gotta do some gigs.
Yeah, but come on, dog. Help us.
I ate the YouTube money yesterday, mate. As soon as it came, just ate the check.
Yeah, we'll see. So, how was it anyway?
Oh, it was sound for me, but the event just didn't happen.
So hang on, the event you were at didn't happen.
Yeah. So the event was like a three-way split. So Gfinity, all Gfinity did was they gave them the stage, and they were doing the production, and then they had this other company called the Game Show that was doing the production. Not the production, like the stage management and like everything that isn't the production. And then MSI are just like the brand behind it, and mate, fuck knows what happened. Game Show just didn't do anything basically.
So what? The event just didn't happen.
It just didn't happen. So the first day got delayed.
What happened to the people that it didn't happen for?
Fuck knows, mate. I don't care. I got my contract. Why? I sound my nice shiny contract with my rate on it.
Apparently, you need to be a little bit louder. Just turn yourself up a touch. Not too loud because I'm sick of your voice. But so what happened though? Was the teams there?
Yeah, the teams were there. Fuck, I can't even remember now. First day it was all blurs, just on it. Something to do with like the teams didn't want to play at first because like the computer wasn't right, and then we fixed that issue, and then there was a network issue, and then the network issue took too long to fix, and then it ended up being night. It was just ridiculous, but like,
So massive didn't happen basically.
Yeah.
Well, but you still get paid, right?
Yeah. Luckily, Gfinity are the good in the group, and they were just sitting like, "What the fuck is happening here?" And luckily, my contract was with Gfinity, so I'm sound.
All right. Well, Sam's done it again.
Yeah, Sam gets free money again.
Yeah, and no work, but a big pile of cash. So yep, that sounds fucking familiar.
Yeah,
that sounds massively familiar. So anyway, look, let's do a show. There's loads of stuff. Some of it's serious, some of it fucking hilarious. By the way, you're gonna piss yourself about some of the stuff I've got for you today. But let's just start with some didn't happen, because obviously we do like a bit didn't happen on the show. Now, have you been following any of this stuff with Candid?
Candid, no. Oh, the website. I've heard of it.
The app.
Yeah. I haven't been following it.
Yeah, well, basically what it is, right, is it's like an app, and it's professing to have, you can go there and have candid conversations, yet all of its features, right, about censorship, basically. Like, so even though it calls itself Candid, all of the things that make it unique to everything else is that it's got like a machine learning process at its core. So it learns things that are offensive. It learns things that are hate speech, apparently. And it just gets rid of them. So if you post it on Candid, no one else can see it. And the thought process behind that, because like that to me sounds the opposite of Candid, right? That's like not Candid at all. But the thought process is that you get real conversation on the internet if you filter out all the trolls and the noise, right? Mm-hmm. Which I don't necessarily agree. I mean, sometimes the trolls are driving the fucking conversation, right?
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, the CEO of this company is an absolute fucking mess. No, like full on butte. Like she's had so many meltdowns. And there's another YouTuber who I really like, and we're gonna have him on the show doing an interview soon. He's called Harmful Opinions, right?
Yeah, I know him.
Yeah, does really good videos. You should check that guy out. He's really cool. But he's been on top of this Candid thing. Like, I've been busy with other shit, and he's been on top of it. And she just keeps interacting with him, and every time it's just embarrassing as fuck. So check this out. Like, first of all, he was going to do a live stream with her. And she said, yep, that's fine. I'd love to come and do an interview with you and answer all of your questions about Candid, which absolutely isn't a tool of censorship and certainly isn't deliberately getting sponsored by the skeptic community so it can build up a pre-existing database of hate speech terms, which we then market to radical progressive companies. We're definitely not doing that. Definitely not doing that. Right? And I will totally come on and answer your questions and exist within your little sphere of scrutiny. Then she said, I will only do that if you allow me, like, full control over the Twitch chat and all this other weird shit. Like, she doesn't want to have to read something in the side saying anything vaguely abusive. And he's like, well, I can't do that. And I'm not going to turn my Twitch chat off just so you can come on and fucking waffle on. So she never did the interview. But for some reason, she keeps talking to him and she keeps trying to do other things behind the scenes with other YouTubers in the skeptic community, like trying to find information out about him. Like, she actually wants to dox him, which is, like, really bizarre. Or certainly that's how it seems. So anyway, she dropped this tweet at him, right? And you'll just see it's right at the top of the Google doc, okay? She says, like, someone just said, you should be in the kitchen making a sandwich. My response, have the courage to say that without using an anon account. You'll see harmful opinions, says to Bindu Reddy, the CEO and co-founder of Candid. Where'd they say it? Where'd they say it? And she goes, Twitter, I've added it at you, right? Now, I had a look through and I couldn't see it. But then I found the link, right? I managed to control F sandwich. So just have a look. She says here. Now, if you scroll down, right, look what it says here, the actual tweet. You seriously think women can run a whole movement? They can barely make a proper sandwich half the time. Do you see the difference, Sam?
Yeah, I do. Sounds like
right.
Not
again. Let's just compare and contrast. Someone just said you should be in the kitchen making a sandwich. Let's read what they actually said. Women, do you seriously think women could run a whole movement? They can barely make a proper sandwich half the time. Did anyone tell this woman to get back in the kitchen and make a sandwich? It's a genuine question. Nah?
Nah.
And you know what that means, Sam? It didn't happen. It massively didn't happen.
Mate, the best part is, what kind of mental illness have you got to make it up, then at a minute you can see how mentally ill you are, and then it's like, look, see, it did happen, and then you go, yeah, it didn't, oh yeah, it didn't.
Yeah, and then she starts going, oh, and I get it all the time on Candid as well. See, I hear it all the time on Candid. Maybe that's true. No evidence, of course, provided. And certainly in this instance, it didn't happen. So this is a CEO of a company, by the way, that wants to be took seriously. And she can't even quote people correct. What faith would this, enable me to put into their product, right? That they're going to get their censorship algorithm right and only filter out hate speech. This fucker can't even read. You know what I mean? Like, well, you're going to be in charge of it, are you? Are you going to be picking the bad words? You can't even read a sentence. You can't even quote somebody, you fucking clown. Is this real? Is this real? It's real. Yeah, massive didn't happen. And then just this definitely didn't happen. Right, I'm so sick of reading in progressive websites stuff that is just designed to be like, you go, girl. We don't need no man. Right? Okay. Cool. If you need to do that to, bolster your self-esteem, that's cool. I don't mind. You want to tell these stories privately? Certainly, that's your right. And when this is taken from a Twitter feed. So again, if you want to tweet this stuff, fine. But I'm going to question whether or not the Daily Dot really needs to fucking put this into like some little fucking story, because it's clearly a lie. Anyway. So just check this out. Awful boyfriend learns a gross, important lesson about karma, right? And you can see they've got some fucking hipster cunt. Look at him. Like, he looks like fucking... He looks like hipster Santa, doesn't he? Remember him?
Yeah.
From I Hate It Here. So...
I'm sick of this generation of cunts like this, but I'm just sick of people who look exactly like that. I'm just bored of them, like.
I'll be honest. I think he's a good-looking guy. Like, I could go for a guy like that.
They're like fucking out-of-the-box humans nowadays, but every hipster cunt just looks like him.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's a bit generic now, but, like, I'd still make him bite a pillow. You feel me? He's a good-looking guy. I like his eyes. I like his beard. He's all right, mate. He's all right. So anyway, It starts, war stories about shitty exes are sometimes the only things we can take from a terrible relationship. I've had plenty of partners who seemed like a bad idea at the time and continued on that trajectory until the whole thing crumbled. But some of my biggest foibles in dating made for the best stories. The type of tales that restore your faith in the playfulness of the universe and make you so grateful you're out of that. Writer, so keep in mind the person tweeting this is a writer. Now, far be it from me to suggest that maybe this story is completely embellished. Like when you take that into consideration, oh, you mean you understand the mechanics of writing and how to tell a story? Do go on and proceed to tell me a fucking pack of lies, right? So writer Sarah Gailey unleashed perhaps the best possible such story on Twitter. Starts out innocuous enough, then soon gets cringeworthy. I'm inclined to agree. You having a laugh? No.
I've pre-read a little bit of it. I'm just having a little gigs.
Yeah, you're having a gigs because it's fucking did happen, did it?
Just picture awful that is him.
Yeah. Definitely not. I mean, feel sorry for that cunt.
No, I feel
who got a fucking job.
Exactly.
Innit? Because, like, picture awful. Well, you're making me mentally associate that guy up there who I've just said I'd take for a tumble in the rough. You know what I mean? Like, with fucking awfulness. I don't think he's awful. You know? Anyway, just sucks to be that guy, you know? I once dated a terrible man who was awful and horrible, and I shouldn't have dated him. You know the type. Just picture awful. That's him. I mean,
I don't know the type. I literally don't know what that is.
I don't know what you mean. Like, I just don't know what you mean.
I'm just imagining like a devil, like rubbing.
Yeah, like massive horns.
Yeah, like killing animals.
Fucking mask made out of
tripping old women up.
You know.
When I picture awful, I think is that laugh basically.
Yeah. You know, like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, dude, like Leatherface. That's what I picture. Right, just squealing, like masturbating while you're tied, like trying to escape. Like. Yeah, right, you can have the laugh. One of the horrible things about this man was that he didn't listen to me. Ever.
Oh, terrible.
Even if you asked a question, he'd ignore the answer. At least he's not a mansplainer, though. Right.
Yeah, he probably just couldn't be asked to deal with it because as soon as he answers you, are you mansplaining? I can't be asked. I'll just not go answer.
Following the advice from earlier about if you don't want to get called a mansplainer, say nothing. Like, one night we were at a family member's house and he spotted something curious lying on the coffee table. What's that? He asked. Don't touch it, I said, even as he reached for the thing on the table. I mean, that doesn't answer the question, really. Right?
Yeah, what if it's just like a TV remote? He bloody touched it.
Yeah. Did he listen? What do you think, Reader? Obviously, he didn't. He grabbed it and started to fiddle with it. Put that down. You don't want to touch it. I mean, she still hasn't answered what it is, right? And the reason that she hasn't answered what it is straight away is because she's building tension because this story's complete horseshit, you know? But what is it, yeah, still fiddling? It's put it down. Don't touch that button. The build-up's killing me, Sarah Gailey. You are fucking so good. What do you imagine he did? Reader, he raised the thing in his hand to eye level, looked right at me and touched the button. So,
like a 3-year-old kid.
What's that? Don't touch the button, you say. Bullshit, like actual bullshit. I was trying to save him from himself. I really was. But it all happened so fast, there wasn't time for me to explain what the thing was. I mean, you've had 8 tweets. You could have easily explained it. Right? Twitter. If you all ever watch television, you have probably seen a commercial for the ped egg. All right? Now, the ped egg, for the uninitiated, is a little egg-shaped device. It's hollow on the underside. There's a little foot grater. And you use the ped egg to grate off the crusty, barnacled undersides of your gnarled-up feet. The egg part catches the foot shavings. You can really collect a lot of foot shavings if you're a dedicated foot grater and use your ped egg on the daily, as my relative did. My apologies to everyone who, if you didn't empty your ped egg frequently, it can get pretty much packed with foot shavings. Back to the story. My ex raised the thing to eye level, looked at me and pushed the button, and the thing in his hand sprang open. My relative's foot shavings erupted. She even used capital, Sam. Erupted from within the ped egg like an explosion of flesh confetti. She's good.
No, that girl. She's done a creative writing class, this one.
Serious. If I was a lecturer, she's already got a B, mate.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Might even get her
legit.
a B-Tech if she keeps it on this as well.
Yeah, exactly right. What was that? He yelled, frantically slapping at his face, trying to whisk the foot crumbs out of his eyelashes. I was laughing so hard that I was in very real danger of peeing myself, and the only word I managed to choke out was feet. All right. I was laughing so hard that I was in very real danger of peeing. Oh, we should have said that. That is why you always listen to your girlfriend. Because if you don't, you end up with a foot in your mouth and nose and eyes. So obviously that is a build-up. That's like a joke, basically. She's built that up, just that one line, foot in your mouth at the end. And therefore I can conclude that absolutely fucking didn't happen. Massively didn't happen. What is wrong with her?
The best part was she started off like, my boyfriend never listened to me, and she's like, always listen to your fucking girlfriend. Yeah, nobody doesn't listen to you. Aggro as fuck.
It's reasonable, isn't it? It's reasonable to say you must always listen to your girlfriend, no matter what the context. Like,
yeah. Do you know what I do is after I get the mozzarella off my feet, but I put that egg right on the table. That's exactly what I do. I'll keep collecting those for a couple of months. I won't empty it out like a regular human. I just leave those carry on in there.
I mean, I think the key point here is as well, though, like, all just like this is what normal adults would have done. Instead of just snapping at him and saying, "Don't touch that," like he was a child, I'd have just said, "Oh, that's my relative's pet egg. You want to be careful with that. It's full of foot shavings." And he'd have gone, "Ugh," and dropped it. And then, you haven't got an 18 tweet extravaganza that makes you look really clever and get mentioned in the Daily Dot. Fucking hell, these people, mate. Starved for attention, aren't they? Just fucking so embarrassing. Well, she's had her 15 fucking minutes. I hope she realises that's the peak, right? Anyway.
All downhill from here.
It's all downhill from here. So, let's talk about Trump supporters and how they're evil. But despite being evil, how many days into it are we now? Like, shit, it was November the 8th, right? It's over a month, over a calendar month, right? And I still haven't seen any evidence of any actual hate crimes committed by Trump supporters. None. Have you?
No, I was thinking about that guy pushing on the stairs, but he turns out to be a Hillary supporter.
Turns out a Hillary support. Right? So no. So we literally haven't. I thought we had one. Right, but there's been no evidence, despite Facebook posts saying people are just rolling up in trucks, pointing guns to like black women's heads, like
Trump's world now.
Yeah, we're living in Trump's world now. Like, blah blah blah. Like, what is this? Like, it just we're in one of the most surveilled countries in the world, and yet there's no CCTV footage ever been produced. Though every time they get them on CCTV, it turns out it was either a black guy or a liberal student doing a false flag operation. There literally hasn't been any evidence of Trump supporters committing hate crimes, like actual credible evidence presented. And yet, meanwhile, the stories of Trump supporters who are victims of hate crime, the evidence just piles up. I mean, I've lost count of how many examples we've given on this show. But here's another. And this is not cool, dude. This was in Fox News. A veteran's home. So the home of a veteran. And we all know all the problems that veterans face with PTSD and not being looked after and issues with pensions and everything else. And especially coming into Christmas,
a lot of unanswered questions,
right? Which is a tough time for a lot of veterans. I'll tell you that. I've got a lot in my family. I spend a lot of time with veterans. I've lost friends, very close friends in the military. So I know how tough a time it can be. The festive season, when you're meant to be normal, right, and everyone's meant to be having a good time, but you've got shit going on, and nobody some soldiers. What they do, they put on the brave face. That's part of the problem with PTSD. That it's drilled into you to show no fucking weakness whatsoever, to not break under torture. If you're in a special forces outfit, you actually go through exercises where they push you deliberately to your breaking point. Think about the SBS. Obviously, the SAS, Navy SEALs have this in America. Ranger Battalion has this. So when it comes to expressing yourself that you're upset and hurting, you don't get to do it because you've been trained not to do it. So it takes a real piece of shit especially at this time of year. I mean, it takes a piece of shit to do this to anyone at any time of year, but especially in this circumstance, to do this. And this was that because this veteran was a Trump supporter, they completely vandalized his house and burnt it out just before Christmas. He has 3 flags in front of his house as well. He's got the American flag, the flag of the Navy, which is where he served in, and a prisoner of war flag as well. And he said, we supported Trump when he started running for office. Oh, sorry, this is his wife. We never made it public. We never had a sign in our backyard. No one really knew we were pro-Trump. But Matthew says he's been active on Facebook and occasionally has made posts supporting Trump, supporting the Second Amendment, the right to bear arms, and other typically conservative causes. And so they believe that's the source of the attack. People broke into the house, vandalized it, put anti-Trump graffiti all over the walls, and set it on fire. You can see a picture of a destroyed Christmas tree there as well. So, pretty cool, right?
Reasonable.
And again, I'm still waiting for the mainstream news outlets because we can't count Fox as one anymore. They've been red-pilled, it seems. I'm waiting for the mainstream media to pick up on this story and pick up on the many stories we like it. Children getting thrown out of their home for voting in fake elections. Children getting beaten up for voting in fake elections for Trump. This is ridiculous. And all the hate crimes I've seen actual physical evidence of, credible evidence with police reports attached to them, and police making statements saying they definitely did happen, all of those have been made against Trump supporters. So, ridiculous. So there was that. Then, do you ever watch that Silicon Valley show? I've never watched it.
No, I never watched it.
Loads of people have told me to watch it, but I'm definitely not going to watch it now. But I want to just remind everybody about what happened last month, and there was some cast members from Silicon Valley, this comedy which pokes fun at how ridiculous Silicon Valley is. It's a satire, apparently, and it's on HBO, so you would imagine it to be good, but based on the personal politics of everyone involved, I don't think I could realistically sit through it. They made a claim that Donald Trump supporters had come up and harassed them on Twitter. And again, no evidence, of course, just their word for it, right? And apparently this is how the exchange went. We're big fans of you guys, said the men who approached them. Said, I trolled you on Twitter yesterday. Who has ever started a conversation with a celebrity? Again, like there's this thing that you have to apply in all these situations called the ring of truth. The ring of truth. Like, does it have that ring of truth? Does it sound plausible, right? So what I'm supposed to believe is that these guys went up to some people that they're fans of, and then within the second sentence of introducing themselves, after declaring their fandom, they said, "We trolled you on Twitter yesterday," and then they said that their anti-Trump politics were wrong. So not only have you just met a celebrity, you confess to trolling them on Twitter and then start lecturing them about Trump. There's just no way. No one would do this. It didn't happen. This should have been filed and it didn't happen. But you can see they replied, "Hey, we don't want to discuss politics right now." And then apparently the men started saying "cook." So
could have happened.
This description. His friends go, "Oh, they're cooks," and then the group starts yelling at us, "Cooks, cooks, cooks!" Right? And he says this happened at a bar in LA, surrounded by people. I can't imagine what it must be like to be someone who looks like me in other parts.
Hang on.
We can't hate.
Did I miss
race.
something?
Mate, it's all about hate, racism, bigotry, and sex.
Did I miss something here? Did I miss the racism?
He's been targeted, hasn't he, mate? Because he's a Pakistani American.
No, isn't it because of his political views? Wasn't that the point?
No, yeah, but I mean, it's all the same now. We conflate.
So. Glad I know.
So it turns out when you go up to someone, it's like going, cooks, 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 cooks. What you're really doing is you're being racist, man. You know, you're not saying that the guy doesn't have a fucking backbone.
Oh, come on, don't take the cuck word away from me. I was having fun with throwing that around. That was a
like
good one.
Like the word cuck, it is fucking great. You know, and like I say, I prefer to use the full term, cuckold. I think that has a much more powerful fucking resonance. You are a fucking cuckold, mate. Listen to that. Listen to the fucking strength in the term, you know? Fucking cuckold, man up.
And it also kind of sounds like cockhold, like you're a cockholder. You little cuckold.
Grab him by the cock. So anyway, so they made up some mad fucking story about, you know, being attacked by Trump supporters and how it's secretly about racism and sexism and bigotry and not just that, you know. I mean, even if it did happen, it's got nothing to do with racism at all, but it didn't happen. So let's not worry about that. So then one of the other cast members of Silicon Valley, he got arrested the other day. TJ Miller, he's called. I'd never heard of the cunt, but apparently he's kind of a big deal. So good for him. He looks like an absolute fucking mess. Like literally, like if I saw him down the Avon Lido, like I wouldn't even fucking blink twice. Like, but anyway, he got arrested, and do you know what he got arrested for? For battering an Uber driver after they got into an argument about Trump.
What?
Legit. This is legit. So TJ Miller got upset that this Uber driver was a Trump supporter and just smashed him in the head.
Look at him, mate. He's got mate. Look at that fucking facial hair as well. What's happened there? Oh, mate. He's fully lost. He looks like he's from Elf, but the film, he's just lost his mind.
It's unreal, isn't it? Unreal. So he and just read through it, right? Like he's like talking about you know, how he was released under his own cognizance, but like he'd hit an Uber driver in what was described as a political dispute. And again, police have been called. There's now a report, a record of arrest. This did happen. So the cast of Silicon Valley now, where's your moral high ground? Do you support violence?
Yeah, it's not Trump.
Yeah, right. So he also had some like late night talk show appearance where he burned Trump branded tie, and it didn't burn very well. And he said that's how shitty Donald Trump's ties are. They're not even flammable. Wow, that's like some fucking cutting edge political comedy right there, isn't it?
But it's good they're not flammable. But I don't get it.
Yeah. Just it's unreal, isn't it? You can't make this shit up. So with all of that in mind, what we're trying to do now, the big movement from the left, I mean, apart from the fake news shit, which we're going to get into, the big move from the left is let's get Donald Trump banned from Twitter. Okay. And what they're doing is they are presenting an argument. Okay. They're presenting an argument that let's say you tweet something or you say something publicly. Give me an example of something ridiculous that you might say, Sam.
I might say.
Yeah, actually, that's probably a bad example because obviously I imagine you wouldn't say anything too ridiculous. But just give me an example of something nonsensical somebody somewhere might actually say.
I'm sick of going to school. I want to blow it up. Something like that. I don't know.
Okay, you've gone for bombs. Don't know why you've done that. Don't know why you've done that.
Said something nonsensical.
Yeah, just an opinion.
Okay. Well, that happens a lot.
Terrorist threat, like.
That's what always happens. That's always in the news, isn't it? Kid, bloody hate school. Next thing he's wrecked.
Right. Let's just go for an opinion, please. A really ridiculous opinion.
Yeah,
no bombs.
I reckon the world is flat.
Right, there you go. The world is flat. Now, if you said that the world was flat, right, and you said it in a public arena or while making a public appearance, what would happen is I imagine somebody would take issue with that and say to you, well, it's not flat. Yeah, and there's all this proof. How can you believe it in this day and age? What a fucking moron you are. You'd get a load of people saying you're an idiot. Now, let's take it one step further. Let's imagine, all right, that you said something about somebody else. Let's say you said, Richard Lewis is a sex offender. Yeah, drinks piss. There you go. Richard Lewis likes to drink piss.
There we go. I thought about going 0-100, mate. I've got a terrorism. You've gone nonsense. What's happened there?
Just goes to show we've got very different psychological roadmaps, you and I, haven't we? Very different.
I'll take my side of that coin, mate, I think.
Yeah, you might have won that one. Right, anyway, right. So I'm drinking piss, right? Because I believe it keeps me young. Okay, and that's what you're saying about me. Now, if I saw that you'd said this, I'd probably respond, right? And I believe, A, I've got the right to respond. B, I've got the right to critique what you're saying as being stupid or false. And C, there's nothing about you, once you've entered into the public foray to express your opinion, there should be nothing that protects you just because I'm more well-known than you are, right? Like, I should be able to say whatever the fuck I want in response to what you've said about me. That's how discourse works. Well, unfortunately, the premise of the left now is that because Donald Trump has 70 million Twitter followers or whatever it's up to at the moment, he's not allowed to respond to people who criticize him and lie about him publicly because it immediately becomes bullying and harassment, even though he does none of the bullying and harassment. The fact that it might inspire somebody to do it is enough that Trump should be banned from Twitter. That is their viewpoint, that people can say whatever they want about Donald Trump and they are private citizens, but Donald Trump can never respond. And it's almost like a bigger version of what we deal with in esports, you know? Haha, I am an esports pleb. Richard Lewis choked Loader, who is a 12-year-old boy, and he choked him to death. And no. And then I go, nah, you're a fucking moron, mate. Fire him, he called me a moron. And everyone goes, yeah, you've been really unprofessional. Right, okay. What about the liar? Did we forget about the liar? Did we forget about the guy that came into a public arena and lied about? Nah, but he's allowed to because he's nobody, and that's fine. How does that work? What you get given more dispensation, the lesser you are as a success in life. That's how it works. Your opinion holds more weight and should be allowed to go unchallenged if you are a fucking mouth breather. Is that really? and it turns out everyone goes, yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
actually, yeah. That those are the rules. You're not allowed to tweet
at people.
Yeah, welcome to the game. Exactly, right? So, anyway, it's completely stupid. It's a stupid argument. And anyone who believes that is correct is a fucking moron. If anyone listening believes it, just turn off the Twitch stream, just go do something. Just go walk off into the woods and just live a life as a feral, subhuman. Yeah, because that's realistically the level you're only ever going to operate on. There's just no... There's nothing fair or just about that. That one person loses the right to defend themselves based on their success, and they have to accept anything that's said about them, even if it's false, from people who aren't successful or aren't known or are anonymous, just because, hey, you represent something. Brilliant. Yeah, I'd also like that I can represent myself and represent the truth being told about me, So anyway, here we go. Daily Dot, of course. Andrew Coates, who is a guy that I had personal dealings with at the Daily Dot. Trust me, this guy's politics is all the way fucking up his head. So he said, Donald Trump's use of Twitter to target private citizens who dare to counter his narrative has serious real-life consequences, for them anyway. So this is about the story about Lauren Batchelder, who was a college student who went to New Hampshire and basically said publicly she didn't believe Trump was a friend to women. She said, maybe you can prove me wrong, but I don't think you're a friend to women. That was the quote. And then Trump responded, you're going to make the same. And then she asked about, can I earn the same salary as a man? Have you seen a video of her?
No, I didn't see it.
Have you seen it? Mm-mm. You can find it on Can't Stump the Trump. It's in one of the Can't Stump the Trump compilations. But honestly, the individual that did this, you could see it was her little moment, right? And she was like, here's a picture of her here in the original Washington Post article. But every time she made a point, she would just, yeah. like this, like just being really overtly ridiculous and confrontational. Like it was all about her. It was her little moment. She didn't just say one sentence. She did say multiple things. And one of the things she postulated was she regurgitated the nonsense about there being that fucking wage gap where mysteriously when I hand over $1 to a woman, it's like a magic trick by David Blaine. I give her the $1 and I go, sim salabim misogyny, and she opens it up and there's 70 cents there. Where did the rest of it go? I don't know. Fucking hell. Powerful misogynistic magic at work, right? And of course, it's gibberish. It's absolute gibberish.
Those teeth Nazi machines are quite expensive to create. They
are, yeah. There is a bunch of fucking credible economists, credible feminists that have debunked multiple times the fucking wage gap. But she regurgitated it, and Donald Trump just said, you're going to make the same as a man if you do as good of a job. And then he also threw in, because she also brought something up about, do I get to choose what I do with my body under you? Accusing that Donald Trump was somehow anti-abortion, which he never has been. And he says, I happen to be pro-life. So, which I believe is how the liberals like it, right? So anyway, he went and made a tweet saying the arrogant young woman, which is a very apt description. I urge people to go and watch the video. She didn't handle herself with any, dignity or decency here. She didn't act like she was asking a question of a presidential candidate. She acted like she was just trying to get as much fucking spotlight on her as possible. And, it was like those embarrassing protesters almost. Like it was about 2 steps down from the ones that threw fake period blood over their face to protest Milo Yiannopoulos. It was on that spectrum, right, of protest questions. So anyway, he puts his tweet out. So the arrogant young woman who questioned me in such a nasty fashion at No Labels yesterday was a Jeb staffer, right? How can he beat Russia and China? How can Jeb expect to deal with China, Russia, and Iran if he gets caught doing a plant during my speech yesterday? And this was that they found Batchelder had worked on some Jeb Bush stuff in the past. So this apparently prompted loads of Trump supporters to abuse her. Now, again, I don't support that at all, but understand that it's not Donald Trump doing these things on alternate accounts, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you accept that, right?
All right, okay, yeah, I didn't know it was a message. I thought you were just sort of broken down.
No, you accept that, right?
Yeah, obviously.
So I don't understand the fucking argument. She got messages saying, what's this one? I'm wishing I could fucking punch you in the face. I then proceed to stomp your head on the curb and urinate in your bloodied mouth. And I know where you live, so watch your fucking back, punk.
Right.
I mean, that's how...
Right.
4chan.
Yeah, right. Who ends that sentence with, watch your back, punk? I mean, who drops a punk in nowadays?
No one's dropping punk.
Yeah, I'm going to go with what didn't happen on that one, please, Jeff.
Except any UFC fighter. That's a sick ref. Fuck you, CM Punk. Stay in your lane. So anyway, the idea is that he's not allowed to respond to these people because they get abuse. And then they give another example, right? Now, this is a few days, because this is how thin on the ground they are for examples. Now, you might think, oh, that's an 18-year-old student. That's terrible, right? But like this, they even try and say he's bullying a union leader, right? You're in the political game if you're a union leader. You are in the game. You've been dealt in. You've got a pile of chips. You have a say, right? So this union leader had said that the president-elect had lied about the number of jobs he saved in a deal with United Technologies, right? And he came out and he said, Chuck Jones, who was president of United Steelworkers 1999, has done a terrible job representing workers. No wonder companies flee this country. If United Steelworkers 1999 was any good, it would have kept those jobs in Indiana, spend more time working, less time talking, reduce dues. So Chuck Jones is like now said after that, I got a load of threats against me after the Trump tweets. Dude, what world am I living in? You accused him of lying. He's accused you of not being up to snuff, not doing your job well enough, and actively driving jobs out of America. Welcome to the political game. This is how it's played. Why is Donald Trump the bully in that equation? You called him a fucking liar. Is that not bullying? Oh, no, but the person who has the most reach has the most fans, and therefore the bigger percentage of people that might do something crazy. Not my motherfucking problem, is it? It's not Donald Trump's motherfucking problem. I don't care if everybody who followed me is a fucking nutter, and every time I tweet something about somebody, they're going to do shit. That's not my problem. I'm not responsible for them, am I? Or am I? Is there some world? Did I miss something?
In our care, mate.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I have to care for everybody who follows me on Twitter. I'm responsible for everything they do. Well, here's the thing. They do this. The news does this. You saw it with that guy from fucking Pizzagate, right? You know, the one who went to the actual Comet Pizza and shot a gun, because he wanted to investigate. And they all went, yeah, well, that's what happens when you tweet all about the fake news. InfoWars are responsible for an actual attack, right? Meanwhile, when there's a Islamic terrorist attack, the same people are going, not all Muslims. It's not the Quran's fault, right? Well, which one is it? Which one is it? Oh, that's right. There is no logical consistency. It's just about suiting your agenda. I see. Okay, good. So this is what they do. So you can be as much of a prick if you're on the right side of things. But now they are legitimately trying this movement to get Trump banned from Twitter because they think it'll diminish his power, diminish his platform. You can read the original Washington Post article here as well. Look at the headline in it. It says, this is what happens when Donald Trump attacks a private citizen on Twitter. Right?
The other thing as well, doesn't it look like they've kind of twisted that Chuck Jones words, guys? That Chuck Jones guy's words. Because he said, I've been doing this job 30 years, and the time people are threatening to shoot me, doing me on my house, and I'm not a macho man, I'm just used to it. So he hasn't even said that Trump's... He said, this has happened all the time, this is normal.
Well, yeah, there you go then.
So, literally, so you've got two instances, and one of them, the guy goes, it's not really Trump's fault, to be honest, mate, it's just always happened.
Well, that hasn't stopped the wave. I'm not going to show you all of it, but if you just Google Trump Twitter ban, you'll get all the usual suspects. Here's VentureBeat. Twitter's next dilemma. Should it suspend Trump for cyberbullying? This was just yesterday. And it says, Twitter is full of jerks. 10 years into its existence, the social media platform is struggling more than ever with trolls, hate speech, and even terrorist organizations. Executives have been more aggressive against groups like ISIS, and the service has banned some notable trolls. But now it's facing perhaps one of its toughest calls ever. Is President-elect Donald Trump violating Twitter's terms of service? And if so, what, if anything, is Twitter prepared to do about it? Well, let's just be very open here. Let's just put our cards on the table. Twitter has policed and banned more notable right-wing and conservative thinkers than it has ISIS people. There had to be multiple publications come out and say, look at all these people supporting ISIS, and keep banging that drum. Why are you allowing ISIS supporters on your platform for them to even address that they had a problem with it? So this is patently false. This is absolutely false, saying it's been more aggressive against groups like ISIS. Quite the contrary. But on it goes. So this is the idea that, because, again, for all the same things that Trump said, he is a bully and is violating their terms of service. This is the president-elect, right? And this is all during his campaign, by the way, saying things related to that are responding to things people have said about him. And you can see here, the terms of service they've even thrown in. Under the section Twitter's rules, the company says this under the category of abusive behavior. We believe in freedom of expression. They don't. And in speaking truth to power. They don't. But that means little as an underlying philosophy if voices are silenced because people are afraid to speak up. Yeah, like every conservative person that saw you ban Milo and doesn't want to lose something that's directly linked to their livelihood. In order to ensure that people feel safe expressing diverse opinions and beliefs, we do not tolerate behavior that crosses the line into abuse, including behavior that harasses, intimidates, or uses fear to silence another user's voice, none of which Trump has done. And yet they're linking it and trying to twist the rules. And then they go, oh, here's some other types of behaviors that aren't allowed. Violent threats. Trump hasn't made any. Harassment. Trump hasn't done any, But they're trying to push it. They're trying to push it. And we all know when all these liberal tech publications start telling Jack Dorsey what he has to do with his platform, he fucking jumps. We all saw that bullshit with Leslie Jones, who used to be regularly abusive to people. And again, of course, the Independent ran with it in their tech section. And they went down a different route and said Donald Trump could be banned from Twitter, right? Because it's the Independent. Same publication that said PewDiePie was accusing YouTube of being reverse racist or whatever. Donald Trump could be banned. Well, who said that? Not Twitter. But he could be. In what world? Well, he just could, same as any user. Hillary Clinton could be. That's how they're getting around the use of that headline. So they're really going after it, really pushing it, and they even talk about how he's going to get the president of the United States official Twitter account, so he's going to be able to do like twice the bullying because he's going to have 2 massive Twitter accounts. Oh lordy lord. Help us, Twitter. Fucking cretins. So, while we're on the subject of feminist madness, what do you think of this one? All right, there's some things you must never write about or use as a plot device now. I've said this for a while, Sam, that the left is not just at war for political correctness, not just at war with, free speech and actual open debate and discourse. They're also at war with creativity, because creativity includes all of those things. So guess what? There's some things that you now can't do. And this includes, according to Jezebel at least, rape can never be a plot device.
What, in a show, in a play, and everything?
In a show. Some showrunners are banning rape as a plot device on their shows. And it says, much writing has been dedicated to the problems with how rape is used to motivate characters in our favorite television shows, particularly Game of Sex and Violence, which they mean Game of Thrones.
Yeah, good one.
Good one, right? Generally, women get raped and men get motivated to grow as characters because of that rape. Definitely not true.
Yeah, Reek had some pretty bad times to do with his genitals.
Yeah, I mean, fuck Reek. He's a man. He deserved to be castrated and tortured sexually and humiliated. I mean, Reek gets it the worst of any character in Game of Thrones, probably. But here's the thing. That's not what happened in Game of Thrones. It says here, generally women get raped and men get motivated to grow as characters because of that rape. Well, Sansa did get raped, yes, but would you not say she's grown as a character now? Like, it sucks, obviously, that this fictitious character in a fictitious world got fictitiously raped, but no man grew as a result of that. In fact, actually, she's now realizing that if she doesn't want shit like that to happen in this awful patriarchal environment, she's got to do for self. And I always thought Game of Thrones was always really about strong women anyway. The most recent series, they even came out and said, this one's all about the women. Think about Cersei. There's loads of spoilers coming, by the way, motherfuckers. Think about Cersei just straight blowing up every motherfucker. The immortal line, one of my favorites, by the way. I choose violence.
Same.
Yeah, mad fucking line.
We always have that when someone tries to get kicked out of a bar when we go out. Sorry, mate, you're going to have to leave. I choose violence.
If you don't come, there will be violence. I choose fucking violence, mate. Let's do it. I fucking love
Trial
it,
by
right?
combat, please, drive.
But think about Brienne, right? Think about shit. I mean, even in this is even in the books, but it's been a fucking long time since I read them. But Daenerys, she uses sex initially to control her husband, who obviously is just straight, a savage, like, and believes that a woman is property, and she uses it to get him to engage on a level and see her as a person and they have a strong, loving relationship, which, was based on something that probably shouldn't have worked out. I know, that's just male wish fulfillment. He gets to just fuck her and use her and abuse her, and then she turns around and loves him. Well, I'm not going to just say that arranged marriage and shit like that is still going on, by the way. It's not like we've conquered these things, but it is set in medieval times. The suffragette movement hadn't happened in this world. And again, just to fucking underline it, it's fiction. It's fictional. It's fictional. So I think that's complete horseshit. I think it's a complete misrepresentation of what Game of Thrones is actually like and about. And yeah, there's always fucking boobs in it and fucking everything else. Definitely. There will be a fair share of little fucking teenage boys who, wait for their fucking mum and dad to go to bed and sneak down. Like, that's fucking fine. Right? But come on, let's be fucking real. But anyway, you can see they interviewed, this is the TV critic Maureen Ryan, interviewed showrunners, and says here, and this was for Variety, and you can see that apparently everyone's just sick of it. And you can go there. This is Jeremy Slater. One of my hard and fast rules, I mean, I'm not going to make the obvious joke, right? Yeah, can't. But maybe he might have wanted to think about his phrase in there. One of my hard and fast rules when reading spec scripts was the second that there was a rape that was used for shock value that didn't have any sort of narrative purpose, I threw the script aside.
Like, isn't it what this article's about? This article's about it's never going to be used, no matter if it adds narrative.
No, but here's the thing. How does he know if it's just there for shock value if you don't read the end? The whole point of it.
Yeah, true that. He's literally judged the book by the front cover.
Well, page 8, there's a rape. Doesn't matter.
Peace.
Oh, it's the story of Boudica. But okay, I guess we're going to ignore that now. No problem.
It's the Bible, bloody hell.
Yeah, right. Right, nonsense. That'll never take off. So I threw the script aside, and I was shocked by the number that had that. I would say out of those 200 scripts, there were probably 30 or 40 of them that opened with a rape. Come on, what? Like opening scene?
Yeah, no, straight didn't happen.
I want to get my TV show made. I know what'll hook them in: a brutal rape. Everyone loves that. Like, didn't happen. Fuck off. No way. So, anyway, they go on to speculate as to why there's so much sexual assault. Here's what I will say. I remember. Do you remember Hollyoaks?
Yeah, I never watched it, but I know it.
Yeah, me either, right? But what people don't realize is sometimes television, as shit as it is, and even the shittest of television, which, by the way, I think Game of Thrones is right up there. Like, it's a guilty pleasure.
Yeah,
complete garbage.
I'm sick of people sucking it off because of the last like the last episodes of the season's decent. Like, oh my god, it's so fucking good. Yeah, what about the 9 episodes of filler I've had to deal with for the one fight scene? Get fucked.
And look, there was things like everyone was, that battle was amazing.
Oh, I know, mate.
The battle was amazing. It was amazing. Yeah, what about that fucking kid not knowing how to zigzag?
Yeah. I hate when people say that as well, but doesn't that piss you off? Like, oh, the battle's amazing. Who am I supposed to be sucking off? A CGI guy? He isn't even on the fucking front credits. Why do I give a fuck? Oh, well, mate, you coded those fucking orcs in mint. I hate when people use that as a thing being a good film. Lord of the Rings was sick, but see how many people were fighting in it? Sound.
Yeah.
Like,
five.
And the rest was just in your mind.
And let's not get on Lord of the Rings, because I've still got an axe to grind, no pun intended, over what they did to Gimli.
Yeah, I know. We have discussed it.
Gimli's a fucking boss in the books, and don't toss me in front of the elf. Come on, what mad? I wouldn't even put that line in a gay porn version of Lord of the Rings, which, by the way, could keep the same title, Lord of the Rings. It's
Return of the Sting.
Fuck that. Anyway, it's garbage. So, but it's guilty pleasure garbage. So what I'm saying is, even bad TV can generate debate and people can talk about it, right? Talk about issues and things that come up. Brookside had the first ever lesbian kiss on TV, right?
I didn't know that.
On British TV. Sure, and on the continent, like the French and Italians were just straight doing it every day, like right? But in Britain, it was a big deal. If you go further back and you go to fucking America, right? First ever interracial kiss on television was Kirk, big William Shatner, and Lieutenant Uhura had a kiss. First ever interracial kiss on TV. Think about how groundbreaking that is at the time that it happened. And these things generate debate and discussion, and they normalize things that are either seen as controversial or taboo, because that's what we've set TV up to be. It's it's kind of like our psyche, for good or ill, of modern civilization. So on Hollyoaks, to get back to Hollyoaks, there was a episode where a soccer player for the American colleagues and friends, got raped in the showers. He was just having a change, and some of the other guys came in, and all in the game, Sean, and he's got raped, right? And they put up the hotline afterwards, and they put up fucking trigger warnings or whatever before trigger warnings were trigger warnings. It was just a special warning. This is like a harrowing episode. I think they had to show this like late at night. It was like late night Hollyoaks, when usually it's shown at about 5:30 in the evening. And apparently, lots of people came forward and this has happened to me. Male rape got talked about. So I reject the idea that you should dismiss out of hand telling that particular type of story just because you yourself maybe have fatigue from it, or you think it's a lazy trope. I agree. I've seen movies, the old rape revenge flick, right? We've seen those, like Spit on Your Grave, Blast House.
Bad movies are going to exist no matter what happens in them. Like, that's always going to happen. There's no point just debasing the entire thing of it being a storyline based on bad movies. You'll never have anything again.
Yeah. So it is ridiculous. And I think once you start limiting creativity, like, you shouldn't be going in as a pre-critic, By all means, have some quality control. But, that's not like, what are we never going to talk about rape ever again on television? Is that where we're headed? I don't see how that helps society. It's not going to stop rape, is it? Unfortunately, if it were that simple, brilliant. I might even endorse it. But it's not, and it won't. So what's the point? So now we've got something that happens, that we all know happens, that we all should fucking rightfully decry as one of the most despicable acts you can do to another human being. And it's going to go on, and nobody publicly is ever going to talk about it ever again, because there's not going to be any channels to talk about it. So we just sweep all that shit under the carpet. Don't see how that's healthy. But, feminism in that. Right. Oh, speaking of that, just quickly, while we're talking about fucking miserable, worthless hacks that have been appealing to feminists. Paul Feig?
Paul Feig. Where do I know that name from?
He's the cunt who did the Ghostbusters remake.
Yeah, right, okay, yeah.
He's fucked in the Feig.
The Feig man.
Yeah, here he is, Feig man. So Paul Feig wrote an article in the Hollywood Reporter guest column called, this is true, this is legit, What I Learned About Being a Woman This Year. Mentally ill. And he's just talking about Ghostbusters and how, he even says here, like, when the director, the opening paragraph here, it's by Bill Brown. When the director announced his reboot of the iconic 80s movie with an all-female cast, he unlocked something scarier than a supernatural horde. Angry men on the internet. The film was never meant to be political, but it became just that. The film was always meant to be political. You deliberately used the marketing... the backlash as part of your marketing campaign. You completely embraced it. You deliberately cast men consistently in roles of comic relief and incompetence. The script ends with the bad guy getting his dick blown off. They all team up to kill the evil ghost bro, and they cross the streams into his cock and kill him. You know, I don't want to point you to the fucking Scum manifesto. That's the Society for Cutting Up Men, right? Why don't you go look at what they have to say about penises, right? But apparently it was never meant to be political. So basically, this has come at a time when at the end of the year, obviously people are going to be looking back, right, and saying what was their favorite movie, what is their least favorite movie, what movies tanked, what movies sucked, what movies succeeded. And obviously this is the plea for clemency. Please don't put us on, because it is hands down one of the worst films made in 2016. There's no doubt about it. Out of all the big blockbusters that got major theatrical releases, it's undoubtedly in the very, I'd say in the bottom 10 movies that were released in 2016. It didn't get a return based on the budget that it spent, and yet everyone likes to trumpet and say it's a success. But I've got a sneaky feeling that now that we've got away from the whole, Ghost Bros are sexist bullshit and all that like weird backlash of fucking feminists organizing viewing parties where groups of women would go and watch the film 3 times in a day to try and bolster its box office reception, box office earnings. Now that we've moved away from that, I reckon we're going to get a bit of clarity and a bit of like a cold, sober reflection about just how shit it was. So Hollywood Reporter bangs this out. Piece of shit. I love funny women, and I thought it would be an interesting take on the long dormant franchise. Yeah, one of the saddest things I've ever seen.
Yeah, why can't you just love funny people? Like, what is it? Isn't it more sexist to gender stuff? Isn't that the general rule?
I don't know anymore, mate.
I know, I'm so confused. I'm in this mad loophole of shit I can't say anymore.
You're asking the wrong guy. But like one of the saddest things I've ever seen, like, and I watched there's a video on YouTube of a monkey that got heavily infested with botfly.
Oh, I think I've seen that.
Yeah, and they take all of it out, and then it just goes to a caption, right? And they're just stroking the monkey's head, and the monkey's reciprocating. It's just so relieved to have like some human contact. Yeah. And then it goes to a black screen, and it says the monkey died the next day.
Bruh.
That's bruh.
Oh, bruh.
Yeah, that is even just describing it's bruh.
Yeah,
it's like
that's
fucking
pretty sad. Yeah.
Now that is pretty sad. But the only thing that I saw in 2016 that was sadder than that was Bill Murray's fucking face when he was being made to promote this film. Bill Murray. He's going to be dead soon. That's a fact. 2016's killing everyone we love. And 2017, it's going to be the same. It's not that more celebrities are fucking dying. It's just all the good ones are dying. And we just got cunts coming off a conveyor belt to replace them. Just nobodies. Absolute losers. No talent. No originality. No brains. And Bill Murray's there, looking like that monkey's. Bruh, please make it stop.
Just take the botflies over.
Please make me stop saying good things about this film. I don't want that to be my last memory of Bill Murray. I fucking love Bill Murray. And that's what they did to him. That's a fucking reason to be outraged with that shit movie. Look what you did to Bill. If I'm going to find it, Bill Murray. I just want to find his fucking crumpled face so you can all see
his Bill Clinton-esque face.
No, it was bad though. Where was it? Where was the fucking disappointed face? Like, oh, yeah, it's so depressing. There is a video. There it is. Was Bill Murray?
I think I've got it, mate. Is this it?
Yeah, let's have a look. No, that's one of them. Just put that up. That'll do. That makes the point. That isn't even the saddest Bill Murray face. That's just normal Bill Murray face. But he just looks so sad. Just so sick of it all.
Sadder than a dying monkey.
And the studio just made him fucking go out there and just, right, listen, we've got you by the balls, Bill. You're locked into this fucking franchise. And you will go out and fucking promote it. Just look at him. It's Bill Murray. It's too much. It's too much. So fuck Ghostbusters. Fuck the remake of Ghostbusters.
Probably shaved a couple of years off Bill's life, that did.
Oh, in fact, actually, look at this. There you go. The YouTube video is called Bill Murray Dies Inside. You don't even need to play it. You don't even need to play it. He's been made to go on air with all of these funny women and promote this funny film. Just look at him. You don't even need to play it. Just look at his face. Look at his face. He can't cope with it. He's had enough. He's tapping out. Please stop this. Please. It's just too much, man. Fuck the Ghostbusters remake for doing that to my Bill Murray. Right. Just look at him, like he's sick as fuck, isn't he? I'm watching
you. Faked a laugh at the end as well. He was, nah, but they look back at him like, oh, did Bill Murray like? Yeah, it was good, yeah.
Huh? Look at that! Look at his fake laugh. God, he's an actor. He's fucking brilliant, right? And he can't even fake a laugh at the film he's been made to produce. Just internally screaming, why? What did I do? I've lived a good life. I've been a good human being. Why are they making me do this? Look at his reamed out eyes. They're dead. Oh, God. Fuck Ghostbusters. Honestly. It's just, oh, God. That's when you realise money's just not worth it, mate. Money's not everything, isn't it? That's when you realise when you sat on a talk show surrounded by people pretending a fucking actual piece of shit, a fucking slimy, fresh piece of shit scooped out of a fucking toilet bowl and put in front of you. Oh, look at that. Isn't that brilliant? No, it's not. But I've got to say it is because they paid me to say it. That's fucking unreal, isn't it? Anyway, while we're getting things to get into the good part of the show now, we've done the foreplay, right? This is unreal, Sam. You need to strap yourself in. I was gonna do the show yesterday without you, but I waited because I thought your reaction would be vital.
All right, okay.
Vital.
I won't even click on it yet. I'll just let you describe it. I don't want to blame it too early,
mate. They know it's coming. The audience knows it coming. All 12 of them know it's coming.
I know, but I don't want to read it. See, I've opened the article. I'm not looking at it. I want to save it.
Okay, well,
get the live reaction.
The article from Toronto Life, right? And this was a woman that wrote an article for Toronto Life called "I accidentally slept with a Donald Trump supporter."
Starting good already. Yeah. It's a good headline.
We already talked about that one, how they were on Tinder and it's killing my libido. This is what they're doing. This is like, right, you know when Alex Jones talks about they're turning the frogs gay, they're turning the frogs gay, right? I'm going to do that now for a moment, right? But it ain't frogs. This is what they're doing. This is how the feminist media is coming at you right now. Like, if you're on the fence or ambivalent, or if you're a young, alt-right, sympathizing, Trump-supporting, internet-savvy dude, they're trying to tell you you're not going to get laid.
You're not going to get that pickle polish, Morty.
Not going to get laid. You're not going to get laid because you are so reprehensible. You need to become more like these fat, goony, bearded men. Definitely not me. Fat, goony, bearded men who are feminists. You need to be more like them. They definitely don't get laid, by the way. There is nothing more wretched and servile than a male feminist. They are the worst. Their lives just suck, right? But they legitimately do. They're into some existential hell. Like, it's like, I love women so much, but I could never be with them. But I want to be with them because I love them so much, but they'll never be with me because I'm grotesque. But I need to be this way so I'm not threatening. And the nuts just shrivel up because there's no need for testosterone anymore. You know, it's just fucking sad. It's just tragic, right? So anyway, that's what they're trying to tell you. It's like putting stuff in the water to turn the fishes gay. They're trying to turn all the Trump supporters into fucking goony bearded feminist men so they never get laid anymore. And again, it's lies. We can prove it's lies. And, oh, you're going to love it, Sam. Oh, God, I'm so glad you're here. I never say that. Right, anyway, let's do this. My name is Diana. I'm a 27-year-old bartender. I met this guy on Tinder about 2 months ago. We love Tinder. Fast food sex, yeah? It's like just eat for dick. Right? You know what I mean? A few days after I'd moved from Toronto to San Diego, we've been chatting for all of a day. We agreed to meet at a bar in downtown San Diego. We were just going to play Big Buck Hunter. Right? And
what the fuck is Big Buck Hunter, mate?
What Big Buck Hunter is?
My fucking son. Oh.
Here we are.
Oh.
Big Buck Hunter, mate. That game with the fake gun, and you shoot like deers and that.
Oh, what? It's a game.
Yeah.
Why are they going to a bar to play that?
Because it's in bars, isn't it?
Oh, they're probably like a Dave and Buster. Oh, yeah, okay. Right,
mate. I used to love Big Buck Hunter, mate. But here's the thing.
Wasn't that Grinder's working title? Big Buck Hunter.
Yeah. Do you want hunting for a big buck? Got you covered. Right? But yeah, I do love a bit of Big Buck Hunter anyway, right? So here we go. We had a couple of drinks. I don't know. We were just going to play Big Buck Hunter. Big Buck Hunter must have sponsored this fucking article, right? We were just going to play Big Buck Hunter and have some drinks. It's very short notice. We didn't even exchange phone numbers. He showed up at the bar and he was super handsome, like really tall, 6'4" or something absurd. We were wearing matching leather jackets. His Triumph Bonneville was parked outside. This guy looked badass. Right? Proof, by the way, that conservative is fucking baller as fuck, right? So we had a couple of drinks and we played a bit of Buck Hunter. A couple of things came up because we were getting to know each other. I was probing a bit because I knew he was from Texas. This guy's a fucking legend, by the way. Right? And I wanted to...
I need to stop reading that because I'm remembering it. Oh.
And I wanted to find out if he was a Republican or a bad person. Right?
Only two options.
Reasonable, Republican or bad person, right? Not that the two are necessarily one and the same. It turned out he was pro-choice and an atheist, which was good. We disagreed on gun control. I mean, this is a first date. This is a first fucking date at short notice, right? You're having a drink. You're playing Big Buck Hunter. Oh, so you see how you've got that toy gun there and you're shooting a fake deer. What's your stance on gun control? If that was me, I'd have been, I'm out, love. I'd have got into my fucking... I would have popped the fucking collar on my 50 style matching leather jacket with hers, and I'd have fucking sped off into the night while they played 50s doo-wop in the fucking background, right? You wouldn't have seen me for fucking love nor money. Oh. Anyway, so we disagreed on gun control because he'd served in the Marines. I mean, pretty sure you'll find plenty of military people who actually don't support gun ownership. So again, that's another generalization. But, you know, yeah, I'd probably say it's a fair comment to say the majority for gun ownership because they feel comfortable around guns because they've been trained to use guns. San Diego is a big military town, so a lot of those types of people around. But the night progressed. We went out to some other bars, had some more drinks, and he invited me back to his place. I was super excited because I was really into this guy, despite the gun control and all that stuff. We hooked up, and it was incredible. There was a lot of face touching and intense eye contact. He was cool as hell. I was completely smitten. So this guy just fucking rocked her world. This is like Top Gun. Take my fucking breath away. Playing with the boys. He's got it all, like, right?
I know, full eye contact as well. Full loving, like.
Probably this one. Shh.
Fuck the guns.
On the lips, I imagine. Let's not talk about gun control right now, yeah? Let's not talk about gun control right this second. Yeah. Look. I'll tell you what I voted for in about 2 minutes. Like, right. At some point, I got up and sauntered over to his bookcase. What a fucking nosy bitch, like.
I know. You're gonna fuck off my shit.
Probably he's having his post-jet slash, like, it stinks, right? So she goes over to his bookcase so she can learn more about his political views. Like, you've asked him questions, darling. Just leave it now, yeah? Don't ruin it. What are you looking at his bookshelf for? So I wanted to see what he was into. I saw a few photos. On his bookshelf? You're looking at his photos, aren't you? You're picking up photos. And then a David Sedaris book that I love. I asked him about the Sedaris book, and he said he hadn't read it yet. Because, just hasn't. But then right beside it, I saw a book about Donald Trump. Bah, bah, bah. It wasn't The Art of the Deal or one of his How to Succeed in Business books. It was In Trump We Trust by Ann Coulter. So I asked him about it. I was like, haha, this is funny. Bet you weren't. I'll tell you how the cogs were turning. Oh, God, he's really a Trump supporter, and he's just fucking rocked my world.
But he's fucked my life up. Oh, no.
And he responded, well, actually, the guy raises some valid points. Mexicans are taking our jobs.
Yeah, mentally ill.
Didn't happen.
Didn't happen.
Didn't happen, mate.
As if that would be the first point you went with. Yeah, it's true.
Didn't happen, did it? Like, seriously though, like in that post-sex haze, she just got back from the bog, the toilet, right? Chucking the rubber away or whatever the fuck you're doing. And she's like, oh, I see you got this book by Donald Trump. That's funny. Yeah, he's right doing it. Fuck them Mexicans. It just didn't happen. Why are people lying all the fucking time? Is your life not interesting enough? Why? Meanwhile, I'm a Canadian expat who just moved to America. I pointed that out and he went, no, it's different. Why? Because I'm white and in my 20s. No answer to this, because obviously he probably said, look, seriously, like, it's not about colour. Like, just chill the fuck out. You are in my gaff here, by the way.
Get fuck out of my house.
You want breakfast, this ain't the way to go about it. And obviously, this guy makes the best fucking breakfast at all time as well.
Yeah, this guy is just the biggest, fucking player of all time. He's just a perfect human.
And again, fuck that beardy guy. I'll fuck this guy. This guy's a legend. Take me away from it all. Drive me off in your triumph, please. This guy's a fucking hero, right? He started talking disparagingly about Black Lives Matter. I mean, come on, what? Like, straight, just, though. This entire conversation happened in 5 minutes. He's covered all the bases there, hasn't he? It's like you handed him, I got to write an article about you fucking me, and I want to say that you're racist or something. Can you just read the following bullet points? Oh, yeah, sure, happy to oblige. Fuck Mexicans. Black Lives Matter is a terrorist movement. Send them all back. And let's make America great again. I mean, white again.
And I'm ready for a race war, bitch.
Hey, I'm ready for a motherfucking race war, yeah. Ridiculous, isn't it? That just didn't happen in 5 minutes. I got a lift home, not Uber, of course. I got a lift home, and I thought I was done with him. The next day, he messaged me on Tinder. He said, "I hope you're still not upset over politics." LOL.
Straight right,
LOL. Hope you're not still upset over politics. LOL. 3 meets LOL. I explained that it's hard for me to remain attracted to someone whose views are so different from mine and who believes in bigotry and xenophobia, which sucked because the sex was amazing. Then he said, not accepting other people's beliefs is the definition of bigotry. Not far wrong, is he?
Not far off. I wouldn't call him right, but I wouldn't call him super wrong.
So apparently it was my fault.
Yeah.
It's kind of is. Like, you're rummaging around his house, asking him questions about his political views on the first fucking date. Why not build up to that? He sent me a hey message a week later, which I never replied to. I couldn't do it again. It feels taboo to sleep with a supporter. It's not your fucking brother. Don't type taboo into anything like Pornhub or anything. Don't do that. It feels taboo to sleep with a Trump supporter. But here's the thing. I've slept with a lot of people in my life. Okay, cool.
Again, your personal journal that I just don't care about.
Write that in Dear Diary. This guy ranked in the top 5.
He was top 5 dick game.
Right? I thought maybe I'd try him again one night at 3 a.m. when I was drunk enough to overlook his political views, but I couldn't bring myself to do it. Can I envision a world where a man was saying this about a woman? Yeah, she was fucking great in the sack, but I thought she was a bit of a fucking mong. But I got drunk at 3 a.m. and I thought I'll just go round and tap that ass. But then I couldn't bring myself to do it because she's such a fucking idiot, lol.
Oh,
Is that like winner of most sexist article 2016? Like, hands down, like, and I don't want to wake up next to a guy who blames Mexicans for his wars and thinks bigly is a word, no matter how handsome he is. I mean, none of those things happen, but whatever. So anyway,
say the word bigly. What is that mean?
Just throwing that in because loads of people said that Donald Trump said the word bigly during a debate, and he didn't, but whatever. So anyway, you think the magic ends there, right? You think the magic ends there. But because the article was so fucking hilariously bad and so hilariously stupid, so hilariously fake and so hilariously transparent in its intentions, it made its way onto 4chan.
Don't tell me they found the guy.
They found the guy.
No way.
They found the guy.
Yeah. As soon as he said 4chan, I knew, but
they found the guy who just rocks up because obviously he's a Trump.
Yeah.
He's
loves an R slash, not slash, yeah. POL slash.
I'm Paul all the time, right?
Massive Paul.
Paul, I should say. He has got a massive Paul as well. So here it is, man. This is fucking awesome. So you can see in that archive link too, there's the 4chan post. They take some screenshots of the article. You know, this guy looked badass. They've highlighted all the funny bit. Then Anon on the scene, right? Guys, it's me. I'm not kidding. What the fuck? I'm being dead serious. Right? And then I won't read some of the responses here. But he posted exchanges to show that it was her. And you can see it's her in the photo and her in the thing.
Holy shit, it is, bruh.
Yeah, right? So you can see, look.
You did it with a big wall as well.
Look, I'm a pinball wizard. Don't flake on me. I'm leaving a few minutes. On my way. Nice. See you there. Cool. I just got here. I'm a little early. Where you at? Hope you're not still upset over politics. Lol. He did actually do it, right? So you proved it. But look, though. What she left out of the fucking story is this bit. Hey, I had a wonderful night and you are incredible company outside of that thing. That said, I can't explain how hard it is to stay attracted to someone whose views are so fundamentally different from my own. Disagreeing on gun rights or taxation is one thing, but supporting bigotry and xenophobia is something else that I can't quite look past. This blows because the sex was amazing. We had great chemistry out of that. I wish you the best of luck in finding the whole package, but that girl isn't me. And then he said, look, not being accepting of other views is the definition of bigotry, though. That's clearly not the case here when I feel that your views incite racial hatred, among other things. Again, you are a super sweet guy otherwise. I don't understand this. Like, massive racist, white supremacist, super sweet guy, though. But it would make me feel like I'm a bad person by overlooking something that's important to my beliefs. I don't say anything for the sake of being hateful. I say things because they need to be said. If you're afraid to bring up serious social problems because you're afraid of being called a racist, then you are part of the problem. So on it goes, and hang on, I want to get to this bit down here. Where is it? Because, right, they start talking about it. And the way she made it sound like, I was only going to, I didn't respond to his hair, right? But she did. And look at the mad message she sent him.
So look. Is it all right at the bottom?
That whole long message.
Oh, right, yeah, okay.
Yeah, she just did not respond to his hair. And then, just at the end, right, just to prove how much of a fucking baller this guy is, like, he literally rocked her world to the point where she had to get back in touch with him, right? And then he calls her out and says, yeah, if you're not going to talk about shit because you're afraid of being a racist, then you're part of the problem. So he's just straight owned her there. Then, look at this, right at the bottom. Boom. There's his triumph, fucking Bonneville, mate.
There it is, the key.
Accidental top 5 in sexy times.
Marga.
He drops the fucking Marga as well, mate.
What a fucking legend.
What a hero, mate.
What an absolute legend.
Yeah, actual fucking boss, like. So yeah, it's unreal. Unfortunately, because of Reddit's rules, they had to delete this fucking imgur off Reddit, 'cause apparently it doxes her. Even
though her name is public on that writing, but sure. Why not?
not, right? Why not? Anything that makes a liberal look stupid is doxing. Anything that makes a mod look stupid is doxing. Retarded. But guy's an absolute fucking hero.
Yeah, absolute legend. Can't believe it.
Yeah, so there you have it. So anyway, now we go from hilarity to some seriousness. How are we doing for time? How long into the show are we? Yeah, that's your job at timekeeps.
Yeah, I'm looking. Hang on. About an hour 15-ish, hour 20.
I'll try and do this in about 15, 20 minutes. Won't happen. Okay, so fake news, right? Now, you remember I did say on this show what was going to happen with fake news. And I've been proven right. I said this was going to be the go-to phrase. They do this thing. There's this cycle in the media where everyone gets on the same page with a scandal or a term that describes a scandal or describes something that's bad. They come up with this term and it's news speak, and they hammer it until it's locked in your brain. And fake news is now the term that they're hammering constantly. And everyone's, fake news is bad. Fake news is bad. Do you know why fake news is bad? Do you know what fake news is? No, but fake news is bad. So there was a bunch of stuff about fake news in the press, of course, this week. And again, they're ignoring some fundamental fucking truths about fake news. We showed you on a previous episode how the NPR found somebody who made fake news, and he was a liberal, and he was doing it to show Trump supporters to be idiots and to pass disinformation, misinformation onto those people. And he was a liberal. Okay. Well, Glenn Greenwald, and I know lots of people have a problem with him, and I totally understand those problems, but I still think, all things told, he's a good journalist, and he did break one of the most important stories in modern times with the Edward Snowden thing. And you can say, well, Snowden could have took that to anybody. He still had the balls to get it published, knowing that it would be a life-changing article, not necessarily in a good way. This is over at The Intercept. They showed here a Clinton fan manufactured fake news that MSNBC personalities spread to discredit the WikiLeaks documents. And this all comes down back to you had people from the DNC going on to public TV appearances saying that, these emails are fake. We've seen evidence that the Podesta emails are fake. Fucking aren't, though. I mean, not at all. There's absolutely, show me what that evidence is then. Explain it to me. Oh, no, we can't do that. We can't do that. But everybody, if you just scroll down, you can see the news cycle. Official warning, Podesta emails are already proving to be riddled with obvious forgeries and black propaganda, not even professionally done. And then you see this is this is an expert you should take seriously. And on it goes. Remember when Malcolm Nance told us that the Russians would falsify some emails, and Trump is an unwitting FSB dupe, and Kurt Eichenwald, that we're going to get to in a second, repeated it. MSNBC intelligence expert, WikiLeaks is releasing falsified emails, not really from Hillary Clinton. 42,000 shares there in the picture. And on it goes, and on it goes, and on it goes. Only problem is the source of what was supposedly the proof that the Podesta emails were faked. It came from an anonymous account called the Omnivore, and they posted an obviously fake transcript. Now, they went and found out that who the Omnivore was. It was a guy called Marco Chacon, who is a self-professed creator of viral fake news. And he targeted, guess who? Sanders and Trump supporters. He specialized in blatantly fake anti-Clinton frauds with the goal of tricking her opponents into citing them so they would be discredited. And when he wasn't posting fabricated news accounts designed to make Hillary Clinton's opponents look bad, his account looked like just any other standard pro-Clinton account. It would have numerous negative things about Sanders, numerous negative things about Trump, and it would have, loads of links to Clinton defending articles. And of course, he got an article in the Daily Beast. And what do we know about the Daily Beast, Sam?
Don't know. Tell me.
Well, Chelsea Clinton is on the board of the conglomerate that owns the Daily Beast. So you can see that, he has this article talking about, we manufactured this Goldman Sachs speech transcript. He did it prior to learning about the WikiLeaks releases of the protest emails. And he did contain actual Clinton speech excerpts. He went through speeches and used them. But once he realized WikiLeaks had published actual Clinton transcripts, he tried to lure people, Clinton's critics, into believing that the forged speeches were somehow connected to the real speeches. And this is what he was doing. This is all up there on the Daily Beast, right? So the Daily Beast has written this story about this guy as part of the fake news hysteria, but they haven't made a big deal about the fact that he was doing it completely on behalf of Clinton. That's kind of like, even though it's very apparent from the article write-up, if you go check it out, why isn't this a bigger deal? Where's the whole, again, the only people we found guilty of making fake news are all leftists or Clinton supporters. Haven't found any right-wing people doing it, yet the people that are getting targeted are like Breitbart. I mean, that's coming, right? I don't know if you saw it because you were away, Reddit, they've banned Infowars from Reddit.
Or the domain, like their content banned. So
can't. Now, do I think Infowars is an entirely credible source on everything it writes about? No. Do I think they've written about some things or the news publications wouldn't touch with a 10-foot pole that were true? Yeah. So I should have to discern, like I do with any other news publication, about whether or not that it's, whether or not it's true. I should be the person that decides, not Reddit. But Reddit have shadow banned them along with a couple of other domains, never made any public announcement about it. And that's where this fake news narrative is going. So you can read that whole article. It's pretty long, definitely too long to read now. But you can get into it and basically see, this is what's happening. It's the liberals, it's the leftists that are making the fake news. Then you look here. This is Reuters, right? Pope warns media over the sin of spreading fake news and smearing politicians. Tell me what you think the Pope meant when he said, right? I think the media have to be very clear, very transparent, and not fall into, no offense intended, the sickness of coprophilia, that's eating shit, that is always wanting to cover scandals, covering nasty things, even if they are true. And since people have a tendency towards the sickness of coprophagia, coprophilia is loving shit, coprophagia is eating shit, a lot of damage can be done. So basically, what the Pope is literally saying there is, like, you shouldn't be digging through shit all the time and publishing shit all the time because you love shit. And the public love to eat shit. They love to, ingest that.
What's the Pope taking nowadays, man? The fucking Pope's changed since I was a kid.
Nah, this is the new Pope.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
He's all right, mate. He's all right. I like him as Pope's go. He's pretty cool. It won't be long. If he keeps talking like this,
I think the media's a bunch of shit eaters, me, mate.
Yeah, he'll be getting whacked. So, you can see here, he talks again, the means of communication have their own temptations. They can be tempted by slander and therefore use to slander people to smear them. This above all in the world of politics. They can be used as means of defamation. No one has a right to do this. It is a sin and it is hurtful. He says disinformation is the greatest harm the media can do because it directs opinion in only one direction and omits the other part of the truth. Now, what do you think he's talking about there?
The media shouldn't lie to people.
Bingo! It couldn't be clearer, right?
Yeah.
Well, have a look. Wait there. I'm gonna get you some. There's a big long list of them. Where we got? There was some good stuff here. There you go. The Guardian, right? So hang on a minute, right? He definitely didn't use the term fucking fake news. He didn't use the term fake news. Why would he do that, right? Because he's not talking about fake news. He's talking about real news.
Real news,
people eating shit. Have a look. What did the Guardian do? Right, one of the biggest proponents of fake news and bullshit, the morons that published Godfrey Elthwick's troll column as if it was legitimate. They reported as Pope Francis compares fake news consumption to eating feces. So, again, they're going with fake news. He's not talking about fake news. He's talking about you, Guardian. He's talking about you. He's not talking about some little shitty blog that gets, into Facebook's newsfeed and seen by 50,000 people. He's talking about you who have decided in 2016 to fucking debase yourselves in ways that I've never seen the media debase themselves. The journalists were always untrustworthy. You had to really monitor what journalists were doing. This is mass hysteria in the mass media. There is no standards anymore. No one gives a fuck. They are just lying to suit their agenda. That it's wide open. Trying to find a truthful article now in the mainstream media is literally like rooting through, to use the Pope's analogy, rooting through fucking shit to pull the peanuts out. It's unreal. And yet here they do it again. The Pope condemns the mainstream media. They report it as the Pope condemning fake news. He's not doing that. Can you stop lying for just one day? Can we just have the truth back for one day? Nah. We can't. We're not allowed to. It's bullshit. Keep looking at that photo of Bill Murray's face between us. It's really making me sad. So then you got the Huffington Post. They chip in again with fake news, and you can tell they're scraping the bottom of the barrel, as the Huffington Post always do. And there's been a bunch of stuff about fake news. This one amused me the most because they try and make it about fake news, even though it's got nothing to do with fake news. And in the same way I told you, you saw the BBC shoehorning the term in. Man marries snake, fake news. Like, yeah, all right, cool, whatever. Definitely they didn't say that. This is a Huffington Post article by Nick Bauman, who we all know and love. And if you scroll down, it will get to the main point of it. And this is that the guy said, I love working at the post office in Columbus, Ohio, and ripping up absentee ballots that vote for Trump. This is just a random pleb on Twitter. And again, immediately, this was obviously false. I mean, if this was another way around, if this was a Trump supporter saying, I rip up ballots that vote for Clinton, I don't think the Huffington Post would be saying, this is obviously false. You can tell this is false right away. They'd be fucking outraged and do about 50 fucking op-eds on it and talk about how Trump supporters shouldn't be allowed to hold jobs in the post office or anywhere where they have any responsibility. So he goes, this was obviously false. Rudimentary investigation would have revealed that Randy lives in California and doesn't work at a post office. All right, okay. And absentee ballots are sealed. Even if you wanted to destroy Trump ballots, you couldn't tell from the outside of the envelope whether a person was voting for Donald Trump, Hillary Clinton, or Jill Stein. But the facts didn't matter. The right-wing conspiracy news machine, which we've proven doesn't exist, is very much a liberal conspiracy news machine, ran with the story. Jim Hoft, who manages the blog Gateway Pundit, took the joke seriously. He didn't ask Randy whether it was true. The Drudge Report linked to the Post. Rush Limbaugh mentioned it on the air. The U.S. Postal Service had to issue a statement. Now, okay, all of those people got duped. They were stupid. They should have done their due diligence. I condemn them for jumping to conclusions. But let's not pretend other publications, including the Huffington Post, haven't done the same, because there's dozens and dozens and dozens of instances. So Nick Bauman decided to make a joke because someone sent him a fake WikiLeaks thing. Or fake WikiLeaks email, which was easily proven to be fake because there was no corresponding link on WikiLeaks to the email. So Nick Bauman tweeted, I love my job working as a voting site in Washington, D.C., destroying Trump ballots, because that's what their fake email was about. Now, it's obviously a joke, right? But apparently he's being investigated by the FBI because people have flagged it and reported it. Now, he's saying that that's insane. Because how dare, and again, you'll notice how fake news has got little to nothing to do with it. He just wants to tell his anecdote and has shoehorned the whole fake news angle into it. It's not fake news. It was just a fake email, and you just tweeted something that's silly. But he's condemning the FBI for acting on reports to the FBI. You know, I'm sure they're going to dismiss it, Nick. You're not going to go to jail. But just a little heads up, yeah? Maybe don't tweet stupid things about how you're committing federal crimes because you don't have a lot of fans. People will report it because they're sick of seeing other people getting reported for making innocent jokes, and they get fucked by people like you who write hit pieces on them. So again, we'll just shoehorn fake news into it. No problem. Now, the New York Post, again, which, like, I know it's not a credible publication in the traditional sense of the word, they get it. They get what's going on. Carol Markovitz over at the New York Post published a editorial basically saying the war on fake news is all about censoring real news. And, of course, that's what it is, right? We exist in a world where ratings are dipping on all the mainstream news outlets. People do not trust the mainstream media anymore. I think it's, in the last what's it called, questionnaire or poll or whatever they did, there was something like 6% blindly trust the media. Everyone else is on a scale of, I do my own reading and I'm a little bit healthily skeptical too. I don't believe anything they say. So they get it. All of these new media outlets that are rising up, they're replacing the old mainstream media. People are now rightly cynical about what the mainstream media has got to say. They do look in far-flung places of the internet. That's how I do this show. I don't just look at all the same old spots. I have to get the contrary report on things. Sometimes it's local news sites and it just doesn't blow up. Sometimes it's blogs. Sometimes it is subreddits. Sometimes it's someone's Twitter feed. This is the unfortunate reality about what you have to do to try and get some facts. And what the mainstream media want to do is they want to censor all of those outlets so they can get you going back to their failing outlets and more effectively control the narrative. That's all it's about. And it's so obvious, and yet it's happening, right? People aren't stopping it. It's literally happening right now. Hillary Clinton, instead of just going off into the woods like it was reported or getting a part-time job as an Emperor fucking Palpatine fucking lookalike, which she could happily do at this stage, she's fucking now re-energized. And she's decided, rather than meditating on her own failure by being a horrible, corrupt candidate, the failings of the DNC, who scuppered one of their own nominees and potential, presidential nominees, instead of reflecting on all of that shit and cleaning house, no, she's back on the podium to warn about the horror of fake news. In other words, how all the big mainstream media outlets couldn't deliver me the presidency. That's what it may as well say. That's the tagline. So here you go. Losing. Notice how they say losing. U.S. Democratic presidential candidate Hillary Clinton. She's just nothing now. It's over. You don't need. It's over. That's it. All right. She is now just a person. Right. That is it. Has called for urgent action to stop the proliferation of fake news. Mrs. Clinton said it was an epidemic with real-world consequences that threatened America's democracy. Right? She urged the private and public sector to combat the numerous false reports, propaganda, and malicious stories that have been spread over the past year. She herself has been the target of fake news, including the Pizzagate story. It wrongly started during the election campaign, blah, 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 Pizzagate nonsense. Right, but let's just rewind a second here. The person that put into play the lie that Benghazi happened over a YouTube video is warning you about the dangers of propaganda. Am I high right now?
Am I tripping balls?
Is this really what's going on? This person who ran one of the most duplicitous campaigns in modern memory, who fucked over her own Democratic fellow nominee, who has literally colluded and conspired with the media, has accepted debate questions in advance so she's more prepared. These are all facts. She is going to be the person who warns about propaganda. She's going to be the one who beats the drum about being careful because there's real life consequences. Yeah, tell that to Bernie Sanders and his crumpled little fucking face. Tell that to his sick little brother who ain't going to get to see him go on and ever have a chance of being president in his lifetime. Tell that to those people about, the power of lies. Because you're fucking full of them. And so's your fucking husband. You fucking snake. So, of course, while we're talking about lies and fake media, we already, I have shown you, I have demonstrated 2 occasions of people that run the companies that make fake news owned by Clinton supporters and leftists. I've shown you that. These are not made up things that I am saying. Again, I'm still waiting on the big reveal for when a Donald Trump supporter runs a company that makes fake news. Please find them. Right? But you can't. And of course, it happens again. Donald Trump is evil. He's evil. Right? I'm going to give you this, Sam. Kurt Eichenwald. Right? He put a tweet out saying that Trump supporters booed John Glenn when Trump mentioned his name at today's rally. A real American hero who risked his life for us. They booed. So I don't know if you know who John Glenn is, mate.
No, I don't.
All right, well, John Glenn. He literally is a fucking American hero, and he passed away this week. This guy's a fucking animal, like in the true amazing sense of the world. Let me just try and get this right, because he did everything. He was an aviator, so he was in the Air Force. Was like pioneering and great, in that field. He obviously served in the military. He was a United States Senator. In 1962. He's the first American to orbit the Earth. He did 3 times, because once wasn't enough. He was a medal-winning fighter pilot in World War II and the Korean War. He got 6 distinguished flying crosses. And he was a test pilot for NASA.
Fucking hell.
Right.
Just a bit of a god amongst men, isn't he?
Not fucking bad, right? Like, I'm missing out loads.
Good innings there.
His Wikipedia page is unfucking real, right? And of course, he served in public office. He is the archetypal American hero. Someone tell me here he went into space at 77. If that's true, like this
I'll
guy's
be happy if I can go for a shit when I'm 77. But like...
Oh, you killed me there, man. Like, for a shit to 77. Fair play. So, where's the proof that the supporters booed him? Kurt Eichenwald. That's a lofty claim. Because I know Trump supporters, right? I've met Trump supporters. I've been to Trump rallies. And again, that's not about my personal opinions, but when I was down in Nevada, I checked it out. There was a Trump rally when I was there, fucking caught the back end of it. And fucking, these guys, these people are patriots. For good or ill, whatever you think about patriotism. So the idea they boo an American hero like him makes no fucking sense to me. Makes no fucking sense. So, someone got the video. Here it is, Sam. Play it. I'm going to just give it to you there in case. And play it with sound so people can hear.
Oh, if I got muted sound, am I getting wrecked? Hang on. There he is. Right.
Is Mercury space? Oh, that's okay. That's okay. We have to respect John Glenn. That's all right. I think they're actually on our side.
I just booing someone else.
They just don't know it yet.
Just booing someone else. Very obviously booing someone else.
There was some protesters or something. I think it was. Somebody. I'm not even sure, but they were protesters. Trump was actually honoring John Glenn, as you can hear from the speech, describing him in very amazing language as befitting somebody of his achievements. Some protesters came in and did something, and you can hear Trump laughed at the protesters and said, "Hey, they don't know they're on our side yet." And moved on with his speech. And then the crowd cheered for Trump and cheered for John Glenn. And Kurt Eichenwald lied publicly and then didn't even stand by the lie and deleted the tweet. Deleted it and then just didn't say anything about it. right? And if you look at his Twitter feed, by the way, I think this guy has a fucking problem. I'm gonna scroll down. I'm gonna give you a day to scroll down to. Let's go to I don't know, the start of December 8th.
Fucking hang on, he tweets every minute, but literally.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, go down
Fucking
to
this self-absorbed cunt.
yeah, just go down. But the thing is, he's not self-absorbed, mate. He's not self-absorbed. I wish he was self-absorbed. Tweet about yourself. Right? But just look what every tweet's about. In fact, look, I'm 2 down from the first one on December the 8th. I'm going to start from there. Trump naming a key politician fighting against climate change action as head of EPA. Good thing Bernie or Busters voted their conscience. So again, he's condemning people who couldn't vote for Clinton, right? Who went and voted for Trump, and condemning Trump. And let's not forget, right? Pretty sure when Bush was in, George Bush, he appointed a bunch of people who've been in charge of deforestation and climate change denial and all that into the EPA. No. Trump's going to kill us all. He's going to kill us all. Maybe that's just how it works for Republican presidents, industry. It's all going to keep going and fuck the environment because we'll all be dead anyway, which is nonsense. It's a ridiculous viewpoint. But that seems to be the viewpoint. But let's not pretend it hasn't happened before, right? I wonder what this Democrat delegate I interviewed in July thinks about Trump's CPA pick. You'll blame everyone else. Real Donald Trump, I win. I bet that you wouldn't get through the night without insulting this local Indiana Union guy who criticized you. Remember him from earlier, right? It's Kurt Eichenwald. Again, steelworker criticized Trump in print yesterday. Trump responded today. Shortly after, guy repeated what he said on TV. Trump needs to read more. I cannot wrap my head around the fact that the president-elect just publicly slammed an Indiana steelworker just for criticizing him.
What's wrong with that, mate? What is this idea that you can't respond to criticism because he's been on TV and now he's the president?
Not telling the full story. He's not just some blue-collar steelworker. He's a union leader, right? A union rep.
Yeah, I know. They're saying it's just a random kid who's working.
Right. Trump is going to continue as executive producer of The Apprentice and continue to get paid by MGM and NBC. This is true. I have no words. Yeah, it's terrible when the media has links to politicians, isn't it, Kurt Eichenwald? It's terrible. Where's your Podesta tweets, mate? On it goes again. I need to type this explicitly. You need a fucking rest and possibly a bath, right? I need to type this explicitly. The president of the United States is going to simultaneously be an executive producer of a reality TV show. Trump getting paid by corporation to be executive producer of a reality TV show while president is beyond incomprehensible. It's insane. Usually when something nutty happens, I tweet something snarky. I can't. Trump's executive producing a TV show for dollars. Who will be president? The president of the United States executive producing a reality TV show is not fantasy. Trump fans, how will he be making America great again while executive producing a TV show and getting paid by corporations while president? This is the moment right now. I feel we've descended into a fantasy world. Trump will be producing a TV show.
Fucking this cunt's stuck in an existential loop.
Mate, he's gone, hasn't he? He's like one of them. It's like in a fucking a sci-fi movie where
Trump is a madman, help us, save us. Trump is a madman, help us, save us.
The android is broken down. He's just, you know, it's like fucking Rain Man. Gotta burn the baby. You gotta burn the baby. Like, he's fucking lost it, dude. Right? But every tweet is about Trump. If real Donald Trump needs the money, which he obviously must, that's why he's turning down the salary. Imagine the madness. He's saying he should just take his presidential salary rather than bribes from MGM and NBC. Now he's calling them bribes. Get ready. MGM Studios and NBC will soon be indicted for bribing the president of the United States. We have the quid, just need the pro quo. Obviously, Donald Trump is much poorer than he has claimed. No rich man would forever stain the presidency for dollars from a reality TV show.
Right. Am I being a dull, all right? Or is the real thing that's happening is someone from Trump's company and or family is going to be there and is like, his company will take the money, right? It's not just Donald Trump literally sitting in a room thinking, I think we should do this week, boys. Like, he's not actually doing the job.
Well, here's the thing, right? Producer just means that, you stick your name on something a lot of times.
Yeah, it's like consultant, basically.
Not even that. You don't even necessarily put your own money in anymore. Like a lot of executive producers, they are used to raise money that goes into the show. So it's like sometimes they don't even need to take a meeting. You're just a producer. And that means that, hey, look, I'm going to make sure this gets made. Talk to me if you've got any doubts, if you want to know the direction we're going in or whatever. I'm just sticking my name on it so other people can go to those meetings and go, look, Trump's producing this one. He's putting his name on it. It's a seal of approval. So let's get some money in there. Now, obviously, when you're a producer, you do usually take a cut of the money. I'm pretty sure what's going to happen, is that Trump's going to say, yeah, I'm not actually taking any money from that gig, but I just want to remain a producer because The Apprentice is pretty much what made me a public figure. But the point isn't even about that. I mean, look, mate, I've read Transmetropolitan. I'm not mentally ill. It's not lost on me how insane a world it is we live in, where the president of the United States can be an executive producer of a reality TV show. But that's the way it's all going. We've been swirling down the toilet as a fucking civilization for some time. It didn't start with Donald Trump, and it's not going to end with Donald Trump. If you want to arrest the lax standards, it starts with you today, and it's not about fucking Donald Trump. It's about just, accepting reality. That'd be a great fucking start if we could just all do that today. Accept reality. Does this cunt look like he can accept reality? Is he fucking ready to accept reality? This fucker is glued to a Twitter feed trying to make out that the root of all evil is Donald fucking Trump. I can't even believe it. Chances of Trump being alive in like 10 years are pretty slim, right? How much influence do we think he's going to have on planet Earth in the remainder of his time? It's so ridiculous. It's an absurdist dystopian fantasy peddled by the left that Trump is going to doom us all. And people buy it. And guys like this, a published writer with a sizable following, spends his entire day tweeting just negative stuff about Trump. Right? Saying, do not defend Trump taking dollars from corporations. Oh, my sides. Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton took $153 million for doing speeches. Are those not bribes, Mr. Eichenwald? What about the Clinton Foundation mysteriously getting large donations from countries like Morocco shortly before her job as Secretary of State signs off selling arms to Morocco? Are these not bribes, Mr. Eichenwald? Do you not feel strongly about those? Obviously you don't. Do you think that is not more evil and duplicitous and an abuse of office, right? More than Donald Trump saying, yeah, stick my name on that TV show, yeah, maybe cut me a check, but I won't be able to take it anyway because all these fucking retards over here are going to say it's conflict of interest. Which one's worse? But that's the reality we live in. And again, I mean, look, just look how many tweets there are. They're all about Trump, dog. And now he's spinning the whole idea that fucking Donald Trump is a puppet for Vladimir Putin. No, dude.
I love that one. Like, I love that. Fuck what I would have said. As if that's happening.
Hey. Oh, no, here's the thing. There's a guy in the chat. I love the guy in the chat. Love the guy in the fucking chat. Right. Where is he? What's his fucking name? Come on, guy in the chat, because it's live. What's him? CGNet Live. Why doesn't Richard talk about Trump's ties to Russia? All right, then. Quick question for you, CGNet Live. So maybe it's a trick question, maybe it isn't. But you can fucking answer it, right? And he thinks I'm still getting paid by Breitbart. I haven't took money from Breitbart since I left Breitbart. But come on, CGNet Live. What a fucking idiot, right? CGNet Live. Is the FBI the same FBI that said that Hillary Clinton hadn't engaged in anything illegal based on the Podesta leaks? Is the FBI a credible law enforcement agency? Do we believe them? I'm going to sit here till this idiot answers.
Best part is, he's such a retard. He said you take money from, he's taking money from CNN now, but so, like, which side are we going to take?
All right, come on. Is the FBI a credible organization in what they say, given that they've already said publicly that Hillary doesn't need to worry. You know, it's all good. That was all stupid. That was bullshit.
Walk it off.
Yeah.
I think he isn't going to reply, man.
No, he will. He'll reply. Vanity. He'll reply. Because he's asking why I'm not talking about Trump's ties to Russia. So come on, type. You're so much quicker than this. The show's not going anywhere until you fucking type. Right? Why would they be credible? They're all in it for their own interests. Okay, so do you then? Right, interesting. So do you accept then that maybe they were just lying to, you know, allow Hillary Clinton to skate and not be arrested then? Because you can't have it both ways. You can't have it both ways. Here's why I ask, right? Because I'm sure everyone's bored of your nonsense. Right, so the FBI, right, the same people that have said nothing to see here in regards to Hillary Clinton after they did their job and investigated some very serious accusations with and a lot of evidence that pointed to those accusations being true. Here you go, Sam. I'll give you the link because this is a curveball. But it just goes to show people don't know what they're talking about. The FBI have already said there is no clear link to Russia from Donald Trump. They investigated Donald Trump. They see no clear link to Russia. No clear link to Russia. So which one is it? Which one is it? Are they in it for themselves all the time? In which case Hillary Clinton could still be culpable and we should go back and we should revise everything that was said about Hillary Clinton because we can't trust the FBI? Or do we trust the FBI, assume that Clinton is innocent, assume she didn't do all those things, and then we also, therefore, by extension, must agree that Trump has no clear link to Russia? Which one, again, or is it the FBI is selectively biased? The Federal Bureau of Investigation has their own internal biases, and they hate Hillary because they're white men. Well, you know, you sound like now CGNet, right? You sound like the Huffington Post. Because that's what they said was going on when they were just at the temerity to investigate Hillary Clinton's very serious accusations with a lot of evidence to substantiate those accusations. Here's the headline, Sam. This is what you sound like, CGNet. You bring in fucking feelings to a fact fight. Right?
Said he's disappointed that you're taking Trump's side, mate. There you go.
I'm not taking Trump's side. I'm saying he's not a Russian puppet.
I'm heavily
That's not taking anyone's side. Do I think he's an orange-faced incompetent? Yeah, of course I do. Do I think he was a better presidential option than Hillary Clinton? Yeah. Do I think it's tragic? The American political system couldn't fucking find a better candidate. Like, we whittled it down. We couldn't get two better candidates, could we not? Yeah, I think that's a tragic indictment. And let's not forget as well, right? See, because I can tell you're passionate about this, CGNet, right? So, WikiLeaks have tweeted about this. You know, a lot of people have fucking been talking about this. And there's lots of memos that suggest that Hillary Clinton has sold uranium to Russia. Now, here's what I won't do. I won't state that as a fact. You'll notice I've been quite clear in my language there. A lot of people like Snopes, we're not ideologically compromised, say that it's unproven as of yet. Right? But certainly, there is evidence that points in that direction. Yet nobody's talking about that, but we're talking about Trump and Russian ties. Nonsense. So you can be disappointed that I support Trump. I don't support Trump. I support truth. I support facts. That's it. Don't bring that bullshit here, right? Because you're not fucking... You're the one that isn't open-minded. It's not me. It's you. Right, back to the fucking show. Here we go. This is the next step of the government. It's a shame CG Net's not here anymore because he'd like this. See if he can disagree with this one. This is a bill that got passed. All right, this is a bill that the government just fast-tracked through. And you can tell this is at govtrack.us, Congress, shows all the votes and everything. This is HR 6393, Intelligence Authorization Act for 2017. Sounds harmless enough, doesn't it? What's the Intelligence Authorization Act? Well, it's got lots of things going on. You can see all the people who voted for, voted against. You can see it passed, overwhelmingly, never in debate. Well, what's it about? And I'm going to break it down. Some of the things that this bill allows you to do. Basically, it's got an entire section about matters relating to foreign countries. And Section 501 calls for the government to, quote, counter active measures by Russia to exert covert influence carried out in coordination with or at the behest of political leaders or the security services of the Russian Federation, and the role of the Russian Federation has been hidden or not acknowledged publicly. And this is going to include anything. This is what definition of media manipulation is. Covert broadcasting, establishment or funding of a front group, which is, again, I mean, how many front groups have Correct the Record had? Correct the Record itself is a disinformation group. But it's not Russian, so it's okay. It's okay to lie to people if you're American. It's okay to lie to people if you're American, but if you're Russian, you're evil. Media manipulation. Disinformation and forgeries, aka fake fucking news. Am I right? Funding agents of influence, incitement and defensive counterintelligence, assassinations, obviously of journalistic figures, and terrorist acts designed to intimidate journalistic figures. So that's passed. And you're like, well, Richard, how could you have a problem with that? Why would you have a problem with that? Because now all we need to do is label something as being controlled by the Russian government. Oh my me? Is that why it's happening? Did I just put it together? Did I just show you a government bill that passed talking specifically about Russia influencing the American media? And have I just not witnessed today? All of Trump's supporters are compromised. All of the media outlets are compromised. Russia's controlling everything. Isn't that weird? Isn't that so weird? The timing of that is uncanny. It must be a coincidence, Sam. It must be a coincidence. Mustn't it? That bill passes and now everything's being funded by Russia. That if I type Trump and Russia into Google right this second, what am I going to find? What am I going to find? Right? Oh, Russia, right? Russia definitely hacked the DNC, and they also hacked the RNC. Independent. This is 59 minutes ago. I was on air while this story broke. This is how real it is. Okay? This is how you know I'm not insane. This isn't Alex Jones shit. This is real. I was on air when this story broke. That bill passes. Days ago, Russia tried to help Donald Trump win the election, CIA concludes. How very odd. How very odd that it's Russia. Russia controlled the election. Newsfeed, Russia did this, Russia did that. Everything's Russian. Trump loves Russia. Putin controls fucking Trump. It's really strange, isn't it? People don't understand how this fake news narrative is going to go, right? People do not get it. Look at that, independent. We know it's you're using an ad blocker. Yeah, fucking right I am for your piece of shit.
Sweet ass I am, bud. You ain't getting that penny from me, kid. I'll be keeping these.
So there you go. And that's why. And look, CG Net's come back now, and he's going, I was on Trash Talking and Filter once or twice. It's great that you're a long-term fan, but don't ever fucking think, right, when you come into my fucking chat while I'm on air and tell me I produced this show and express my opinions because I'm secretly taking money from Breitbart, go fuck yourself. Because you're not a fan, and you obviously don't know anything about me at all if you think that I would sit here and lie and not give my opinions, the honest ones I believe, and try and back them up with evidence like I've always fucking done my entire life. If you think that can be bought, fuck you. Really fuck you. I don't care how long you've been here. But welcome back. So there you go, right? And then we get into the story of prop or not. You ever heard of prop or not, mate?
No.
Right, well, obviously, it's an abbreviation for proper or not. This is an anonymous, clandestine group that wants to tell you whether it's propaganda or not. Prop or not. Propornot.com. Go to the website. Check the front page. First thing you'll see is a post from November the 30th. Russia is manipulating US public opinion through online propaganda, and we're trying to stop it. Right? Scroll down. It's contrasts InfoWars, and again, I think I've been critical enough about InfoWars. I like Paul Joseph Watson stuff, but I think Alex Jones is a little bit too far out for me. But it compares InfoWars to old-style Russian propaganda, which was done deliberately to lie and control stuff during the time of war. Right? So on it goes, and they say it's bigger than hacked emails. They didn't just hack the emails. Russian propaganda targets all American media. And then it lists a group of websites, right, that they say are, Russian, that are compromised by Russian propaganda. It includes the Ron Paul Institute. It includes Veterans Today. Definitely includes InfoWars, Zero Hedge. Anyway, and it says, prop or not is a resource. Be aware, Russia is trying to supplant actual journalism. Spread the word. Russia is attempting to manipulate the American people through online propaganda. And it's wrong when Russia does it, but when we, good old Americans and the mainstream media, try to manipulate American people through online propaganda, then it's okay. But when Russians do it, bad. When we do it, good. Check this comment. You will laugh so hard, you will shit like you were 77. Obtain news from actual reporters who report to an editor and are professionally accountable for mistakes. That's already a laugh in and of itself. Then let's have a look at the publications they suggest. We suggest the NPR, the BBC, the New York Times, the Wall Street Journal, the Washington Post, BuzzFeed News, Vice.
Sound.
Is this real fucking life? Is this fucking real? Is this fucking real? BuzzFeed? Buzz fucking feed. We at Prop or Not suggest you get your real news from BuzzFeed. I'm fucking done. I am done. I've heard it all. I have fucking heard it all now, right? But guess what, though? This Prop or Not organization are a fucking joke, mate. They're a fucking joke. I think we all know they're a joke. You can see their entire fucking list, actually. Because a lot of people have objected to being on this list. I might just bring up...
we recommend you get your news from worldstarhiphop.com.
Yeah, right. We recommend you get your news from 30-second fights on Twitter. So let's have a look at the list. So here's the list. Here's the full list. You'll see how many alternate news sources are on here. And understand that the specific allegation is Russian influence propaganda, right? But you'll see stuff on here. I mean, I went through and I'm trying to think. This is obviously last month. But if you go through, there's definitely some fucking websites on there that really definitely aren't taking money from the Russian government, you know. And on top of that, it's what happens next. Because here's the thing. I think everybody knows that you start with InfoWars. And then even people like me would say, yeah, InfoWars is a little bit crazy. InfoWars is a little bit out there. Prison Planet and InfoWars is a bit much. You know, I can't take everything they publish seriously. And so when they get banned off Reddit, and when they get banned and, you know, held accountable for the things they write, and when the government mandates them under this new bill that they've passed to censor them, people go, yeah, they're a pretty crazy conspiracy theory website, though, so fuck them, right? That's what the most people will say. I wouldn't say that. I think censoring them is deplorable. I think it's up to the reader to discern whether or not what they're reading is reliable. Always has been, always will be. But equally, you know, you should go in and not lie to people, definitely. Journalists should be passionate about truth. But the idea that it's only InfoWars that are like telling ideological nonsense. And I see stuff all the time about how Alex Jones believes in lizard people, and it's just not true. He believes in some other things that are pretty wacky, but there's no need to exaggerate, right? But then what happens is, once you've got InfoWars, then it's Breitbart, right? Because that's the next logic. You know, there'll be a few websites in between, sure. But then it's Breitbart, right? It'll definitely happen to Breitbart. They'll go for Breitbart. We're already seeing advertisers walk away from Breitbart. And like I say, I've worked at Breitbart, so I know the idea that we don't run things through an editor is a lie. We run things, any story that was making specific allegations didn't just go through an editor. It went through a legal team. Lawyers had, one of the only frustrating thing about working at Breitbart was that my stuff couldn't get out quick enough. Because every time I made an allegation, even if it was just in an esports article, legal wanted to check it out to make sure we were on cast iron footing and, you know, the information was solid and the source was solid. So I know we have a pretty high standard there because they know that everything we publish, the left is going to go through with a fine-tooth comb. And I think it's quite telling, actually, that outside of climate change denial and a few fucking, deliberately provocative headlines by Milo, the left rarely find anything to beat Breitbart over the head with. It's selective, sure, but it's meant to be a counter-narrative website, you know? So then they get Breitbart. So what's next after Breitbart? It's Fox News. That's the order, guys. If you sign off, if you think it's okay to censor InfoWars on a government level, to lie about them being funded by Russian propagandists so you can censor them, if you think that's okay, there is going to be no right media anymore. There is going to be no counter. There is going to be no pushback. And maybe you're the kind of person who's okay with that. Maybe you think, fuck it, I don't subscribe to any of those beliefs on any of the issues, so I don't need a media outlet to represent me. Incredibly selfish. But trust me, as the counter to the government mandate shrinks away, you're not going to be left with much. There's going to be this tiny ideological sliver. And Noam Chomsky's talked about this a lot. Whether you think he's a fucking hack now and a money-grabbing asshole now, he said it before, that what you do is you limit the extremes of discourse, but then you promote healthy discourse within a very limited and controlled field to make it look like actually we do have healthy debate and discussion. But the radical fringes have been chopped off. There's nowhere to discuss them, and anyone who does discuss them goes to jail. Well, that's where we're headed. That's what bills like that enable, and that's what policies like this enable. And if you support it, trust me, you're going to wake up one day and you're going to be like, oh, wait, viewpoints I believe in are being censored now. And people, oh, that's the slippery slope fallacy, Richard. Go learn your history. Go read about East Germany. Go read about Russia. Go read about North Korea, which, North Korea is treated like it's a fucking joke and not some horrible, dictatorial state. Go read about these places. Go look up the history on these places and what control of information does and how it's used by governments. and what it's used for. Because this is what it looks like. So, and just to point out,
have you seen what's going on now, Twitch chat?
Oh, what's happening?
Right, some guy called Billy Rivers has come in and lost his fucking brain. But
we'll get to that. We'll end on Billy Rivers. We'll end on Billy Rivers. Maybe this show's a bit too intense for Billy Rivers, right? We'll come to Billy Rivers. But anyway, just to put it in context, the Washington Post ran an article where they promoted Prop or Not and said that they were great and they were going to stop this flood of fake news. And we had to do it because fake news is what won Donald Trump the election, and it's bringing back white supremacy and everything else. And now, of course, it's the Russians. We're going to have to move away from Nazis for a moment, and we're going to go to Russians. They had to edit it. And put a fucking note in at the top saying the Washington Post on November 24th published a story on the work of 4 sets of researchers who have examined what they say are Russian propaganda efforts to undermine American democracy and interests. One of them was Prop or Not, a group that insists on public anonymity, which issued a report identifying more than 200 websites that, in its view, wittingly or unwittingly, published or echoed Russian propaganda. That's definitely not what they say on the website, actually. It's a lot stronger than that. A number of those sites have objected to being included on Prop or Not's list, and some of the sites, as well as others not on the list, have publicly challenged the group's methodology and conclusions. The Washington Post, which did not name any of the sites, no, you didn't, Washington Post, but you did link to the fucking list, which did not name any of the sites, does not itself vouch for the validity of Prop or Not's findings regarding any individual media outlet, nor did the article purport to do so. Since the publication of the Post story, Prop or Not has removed some sites from its list. Brilliant. So you literally ran with this, and you can say, oh, we didn't vouch for them. You wrote an article about how they're stopping Russian propaganda, and you can see the headline, Russian propaganda effort helped spread fake news, experts say. So you have labeled them as an expert, which is a fucking endorsement. And that's the media. That's what they're doing. They're going to hold up this nonsense idea that now conservative media is funded by Russia. We'll try and kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Lies. Absolute lies. Right. Let's have a look. Let's have a look at what's up with Billy Rivers, mate.
Do you want me to just read you his fucking meltdown?
Yeah, you haven't talked for a while, mate.
I've just been witnessing Billy fucking Rivers, mate. Right. So he just comes in, he goes, "What the fuck are you guys talking about? Who gives a fuck? Fuck you, cunt." Right? And then everyone's like, "Are you alright?"
I don't know. He's got a little blue crown next to his head.
That's his Twitch Prime.
Alright, okay. So he's not the king.
No, he just pays $10 a month, doesn't he?
He's not the king of Twitch. So hang on. Yeah, I'm on top of it now. Let's have a read. I was here to talk about video games. I wasn't. It's my channel.
There's other shit before that, man. Someone says, "Are you okay?" And he goes, "Nothing's fucking okay."
No. What the fuck? What are you guys talking about? Who gives a fuck? Fuck you. Fuck. That's good. Is he auditioning for a Martin Scorsese movie? Yeah, I see that bit. Nothing's fucking okay. You all right, mate? You all right? Let's have a look. He's in an argument with someone called Pikey Chalk Slam. An argument with that person. Right.
He's a sub, of course, as well. Pikey Chalk Slam.
Right. Lol. Narrative. What a fucking... Again, these are asterisks, so I can't tell. What a fucking fuck. We'll stick with fucking fuck. I like it. Fuck you, Empire TV. What did Empire TV say? Billy Rivers, you sound mentally ill, bruv.
Reasonable. Fair dude. Kind of does.
If the cap fits. Cheers. So what would you do with me? The mentally ill? Electroshock? No, I'd make sure you got proper treatment, mate. Because if you...
He just thinks we want to electrocute him for some reason. He keeps saying, "Electrocute me! Fuck you! Fuck!"
I don't want to electrocute you. In fact, electroshock therapy has been proven to be mostly ineffective. It's completely disgusting. Look, dude, go read up about Francis Farmer. I don't support that shit. That's really bad.
I don't get it. Is he mentally ill, or is he saying that because someone said, "You look mentally ill, bro"?
I don't know. Maybe he is mentally ill. If that's the case, mate, if you Want to stay in the chat and have a proper talk one-on-one afterwards, I'll DM you my Skype.
Instead
We can
of
have a
screaming fuck at us, asking.
We can have a chinwag, mate. If you want to talk about games, I'll talk about games with you one-on-one if that's going to make you feel better. No hate here, bro. But you can't come in all aggressive, man. People are here just to talk about politics and get red pilled. It might be an emotive topic for people. But you know, there you go. I don't know. I could be mentally ill. Well, but so could you. Yeah, dude. I battled. Listen, dog. I battled with depression. I don't mind talking about it. Fuck the stigma. I talked about it many times. You can go find a video, actually, Billy Rivers, if you want to hear what I've said about it. Trash Talk 14, is it? Yeah,
with Anders.
Yeah, with Anders.
Back when I wasn't lazy and I actually timestamped those ones, mate, so you can go.
Yeah. Before you discovered green.
Before I discovered doing the minimum amount.
So if you go to Trash Talk 14, it's a mental health special, actually, about how we talk about stigmas attached with mental health, and sometimes the best thing to do is just talk about, you know, your illness and what you're feeling and what you're thinking. And not everybody's going through something, you know, especially in this business. So I don't want to electroshock you, dude. I'm happy you're in the channel, but you can't come in all Larry and fucking be abusive to people. You know, that's not what it's about, man. It screams problems. And if you've got problems, don't take it out on other people, man. Talk to people who wanna hear what you got to say.
I'm still impressed that I just remembered off the top of my head it was number 14.
Were you actually right?
Yeah, I am. I just googled it. It was right.
You're usually incompetent with everything else.
He's on it, mate.
Do Republicans have a mental illness specialist? What do you mean? Do you mean the party? Do you mean Donald Trump's government? I don't know. I think we can all agree that the government doesn't cope with treating mental illness particularly well. Fuck off, fuck. I don't know. But Billy, mate, come on.
This is a weird show. This one's been made. We've just been having one-on-ones repeatedly through the show.
I know, yeah. Come on, Billy. Like, don't be like that, man.
Look, this is just a phone call.
Yeah. Just listen, dog. I'll say this, and then I'm going to close the show out, right? If for any reason, because obviously you felt compelled to come here to talk about video games, as you put it. If for any reason this is like some sort of attention plea, then look, man, you've got my attention. You got my attention. I don't want you to suffer in silence or suffer alone. That's not what this is about. That's not what I advocate for. You definitely shouldn't. So you can message me via Twitch, or you can get in touch with me on Twitter, and we'll talk. It's no fucking skin off my nose, my sizable nose. We'll have a chinwag, right? So there's the offer. But if you're just trying to be a little edgelord, and edgy in Twitch chat, you know, it sucks.
Keep arguing with Pikey Chalk Slam, I'm sure.
See what happens, Smith. See what happens, because trust me, Pikey Chalk Slam will fuck you up.
The king of dog shite.
And somebody said, Richard, would you ever think about growing your hair out? No, because I've got to that stage of male pattern baldness where it's not even going bald equally.
Yeah.
So if you look here, it's going slightly more bald than this side. And I'm starting to go bald in the middle, which is a fucking existential nightmare. And I'm bald at the back. So unfortunately, the razor is now my friend. So that's how it is.
Big life.
Yeah, I'm just living the big life, man. So anyway, I'm gonna I just think get off the fucking video game chat. You can't. I thought you wanted to talk about video games, Billy, you're a confused young man, and I want to say from the bottom of my heart, I love you. Thanks for being part of the show. Definitely get in touch afterwards.
He's wrecked him, mate. You've been sucking him off, and he's just wrecked him.
Well, I don't mind. Look, he's done a winky face. It's all right.
Very fucking bald and mentally ill.
I probably am mentally ill. Don't worry about it, Billy. I still love you. So yeah, I think we should kill the stream, get this uploaded. No edits on this one.
UFC's about to start, mate. 4
Yeah,
minutes.
watch
just in
UFC.
time.
Well, yeah, good times. Have some beers, have some brewskis. People are inviting me out to go watch the UFC. I think I'm just gonna watch it here and just get drunk alone. Isn't that fucking tragic, right?
Sound.
Yeah, why not? Fuck it. It's all over. It's all over for me. Right then. All the best to everyone who tuned in. I know it was happening. There was some CS happening somewhere in the world. I'm gonna watch the VODs and catch up. But yeah, there you go. And if you're watching this on YouTube, thanks very much. We're going to make a few more videos. We're going to catch up. There's all sorts of crazy shit going on. We are going to do more esports stuff. I know it's been a bit political focused, but that's what we like at the moment. Lots of fun. There's nothing better than reading an article about how fucking a Donald Trump supporter ruined your life or something. And that's that. Any final words, Sam? Oh, do you know what? Here's what I wanted to end on, right?
Okay.
In the immortal words of Eazy-E, right? Suck my dick, lick my balls, make me come faster, lick my ass, suck my toes. You know you are the master.
On the next show, peace.